this first edition in Brazil is an immense honor. We are very happy to host that in partnership with XTC. In these times of global pandemic and ever increasing and disruptive natural disaster, there is an urgent need for innovation solutions that can help address the world's most extreme problems. Brazilian startups have a rich history of creating cutting-edge technology that help drive social change and improve the lives of many. That's why Startse is proud to support the XTC Brazil and lead the first regional startup competition in South America to elevate and support Brazilian startups that are building game-changing business that drive positive and social impact. XTC Brazil is one of many exciting regional events held by XTC, the world's largest startup competitions for entrepreneurs addressing global challenges. So here's our agenda for today. You guys are more than welcome to join us of this pitch day, the demo day with XTC Brazil. Today, we're gonna have a masterclass on raising venture capital, a panel discussion among the judges that are gonna introduce you pretty soon. We're gonna also have the startup pitch. Each startup will pitch for 3 minutes, and the judges will have 3 minutes as well to ask them questions. In the end, the judges are gonna get together, and then we're gonna have the final evaluation based on the scores of all judges. The scores are also based in 4 criteria: team, product or service innovation, product market fit, and tech for good. In the end, we're gonna announce the winners. So I'm very happy to be here. That's a welcome for you guys. My name is Nelson. I'm a partner at Startse. I'm here at Startse University. Very excited to hear about the new startups, the top 10 startups. But before that, actually, I would like to introduce a part of us. It's a partner that building that together. So here with me today, there is Barrett. Barrett, are you here? Welcome, my friend. Thank you so much, first of all, to be here today in the event. I would like you to introduce yourself and also talk a little bit more about XTC Challenge.
Great, thank you so much, Nelson. Hi, I'm Barrett Parkman, the co-managing director of the Extreme Tech Challenge. It's a pleasure to be with you all today at XTC Brazil at the Silicon Valley Web Conference by Startse. I prefer to be with you all in Sao Paulo, but we'll have to wait until next year for that. It's clearer than ever that the world is facing extreme challenges, from COVID-19 that has infected millions globally, climate change that is causing natural disasters around the world, to deep inequalities that exclude entire populations from opportunities and progress. The Extreme Tech Challenge is founded on the belief that startups are often our best hope to unleash the innovation that is needed to solve these challenges. XTC is dedicated to finding startups that are innovating for good and empowering them with a network of investors, corporations, and mentors to access the resources they need to scale their business and their impact. XTC is a nonprofit organization that is supported by over 40 partners, including Samsung, Startse, Microsoft, Intel, Ford, Glovo, and Cisco. Last year, over 2,400 startups from 87 countries applied to XTC that culminated in July 2020. Over 100 global VCs reviewed the applications and selected just 52 finalists. Each of them joined the XTC Bootcamp and Finals, where they received unique access to leaders like Jerry Yang, the co-founder of Yahoo, Tim Draper, the founder of Draper Associates, Young Sun, the CSO and president of Samsung, and a host of investment leaders from prestigious VC firms and global corporations. These startups have raised over $50 million since becoming XTC finalists, despite the headwinds of a pandemic. Today, the XTC Brazil Evaluation Committee, made up of investors from Valor Capital, Amadeus Capital, Samsung, and Qualcomm Ventures, reviewed scores of startups and selected the 10 startups that you'll see pitched here today. These companies, either headquartered or operating in Brazil, are building scalable businesses with positive societal impacts in the fields of health, education, fintech, transportation, smart cities, clean tech, energy, ag tech, food, water, and enabling technologies. Today, they will pitch to a panel of leading regional and global venture capitalists who will select 3 startups to become XTC finalists and represent Brazil at the XTC Bootcamp and Finals in May and June of 2021. But before we get to the pitches, here's a little bit more about XTC. Thank you.
Thank you, Barrett.
XTC is found to really encourage the energy of entrepreneurs work on these extreme difficult challenges.
Here's a breakdown of XTC 2020. We had more than 2,400 startups apply from 6 continents, more than 80 countries. They've been down selected to 7 winners across 7 categories, plus a COVID award and a female founder award. It's really a community. It incorporates big companies, universities, venture capitalists. We want to give you as a startup the ability to be seen, be heard, and to build relationships that could carry you far into the future.
Startups are everywhere, across national boundary, across racial boundary. It's everywhere that we can encourage, and we want them to all join us.
If you're a founder of a startup that wants to do good for the world, you don't need to wait. You can apply now at extremetechchallenge.org. I hope to see you here next year, pitching in the global finals.
How can I improve the world?
It will take innovation, hard work,
entrepreneurship,
diversity,
empathy,
Collaboration,
persistence,
focus,
passion, action.
Let's hope for a greater world by working together as one.
Awesome. Thank you so much again, Barrett and XTC, to partner with XTC for the first time in Latin America and Brazil, XTC Brazil. Okay, right now, guys, we're going to move to the panel discussion with the judges. And before invite them, actually, I would like to give you a short introduction about the judges. We're going to have in the first part of the panel, Monica Saggioro. Monica is co-founder of Maior Capital Venture Capital, founded focus on early stage startups in Latin America. Monica has extensive experience in innovation and technology in Latin America and has an MBA at Harvard. Also worked for a Goldman Sachs before. So I would like to welcome Monica. And also for the first part of our panel, we're going to have Antônio Coliasso, a partner at Valor Capital Group, pioneer in cross-border venture funds in technology markets in United States and also in Brazil. He also served on Google as a COO of global partnerships, established the company presence in India, and also increased the presence in Latin America with the launch of AdWords office and online operations in Brazil, Mexico, and Argentina. In the second session, we're going to have Christopher Chu, Vice President, and Manager Director of Samsung Catalyst Fund, Samsung's electronics multi-stage venture capital fund that invests in new data economy and strategy ideas for mobile device solutions groups and customers electronics from Samsung. We're also going to have Pat Burks, partner of Amadeus, a company focused on high-tech business in Latin America, the United States, and Europe. He has worked for companies such as Creditas, Descomplica, Green Road, Bidu, Transmode, and Tobii, among others. He also served as the CEO and interim CFO for SaaS Green Road. In the end, also we're going to have, for the sixth session, we're going to have Carlos Quecron, Vice President of Qualcomm Technologies and Managing Director for Qualcomm Ventures, Americas and Operations. He's also responsible for Qualcomm Ventures investments in the Americas and also for business development and operation teams that invest in companies with from 5G, AI, automotive, connective, mobile, IoT, and XR sectors. So this is our 5 judges for today. They are more than welcome. Before I invite Monica and Antônio for the first round, I would like to have just a short video about them. Hello, Monica. Hello, Antônio. How are you guys? Good to see you here. Just want to make sure you guys can hear me and I can hear you guys back, and then we can start a short panel about raising venture capital in Brazil and Latin America especially. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks very
Hello.
much.
Yeah, good to have you guys here. So the idea here, guys, is like I'm gonna ask a couple questions, and then we can talk a little bit about the key challenge that maybe those startups that are gonna present the pitch today can face when looking for investment, as well other startups or entrepreneurs that have an idea, that have a project that also could be interested in your guys' opinion. So the idea here is I'm gonna ask the question, you both can answer, okay? You guys can choose the order to start. I just wanna like establish a conversation here, then maybe with your advice and knowledge, you can help the Brazilian ecosystem, the Brazilian startup ecosystem to find better ways to raise capital from VCs, okay? And the first question is about a little bit about that mindset and the idea that like actually in Brazil and in Latin America, we saw more investments in 2019 and 2020. So VC funding in Latin America more than double actually to a record of 4.6 billion in 2019. And we're seeing actually a growing number in 2019. So what the main criteria or pain points that VC are looking for when they invest in Latin America or in Latin American startups? I don't know if Monica want to start or your
I can start it. Perfect. Let's go by stage, right, Antoine? So first of all, thanks for having us. It's a great pleasure to be here with you all. So I'm going to start talking about Maya specifically, and I would love to hear Antoine later on. But in general, at Maya, we invest in what we call exceptional teams that are actually solving Latin America's most pressing problems. And this means that we look for three main things. The first one is team. This is the key variable. We really do look for founders that we call who are obsessed about one specific problem, one specific thesis, and that have the grit and the leadership skills to execute such thesis. So we're actually looking for the off-the-chart teams. The second factor is TAM, or market size, as we call it. And this matters a lot. So for teams to be able to build great companies, they really must take or build very large markets. And we're talking about larger markets of at least $1 or $2 billion, because it's much easier to create a large corporation, a large company in such a scenario. And the larger the problem, also the larger the opportunity. So that's the number 2 factor. And the third one is product. So we assess whether the company can create a solution that is at least 10 times better than all the existing other ones. And we might not have it yet, because again, at Maya, we invest the first venture capital check. So sometimes they're super early in terms of product, but still we're looking for signs that they can create a differentiated solution and that they can sustain this differentiated solution on the longer term. So there's a term that we call moat, which is very critical for us. Having signs of being able to create this moat on the longer term is really important for us. So in the end, it's team, TAM, and product. I'll reinforce that, and I think this might be a little bit different from Antoine's case, but in our case, because sometimes founders are super early stage, making sure that the team is actually committed, that they complement each other, that they really understand the problem is the most important part for us. Antoine, I'm curious to hearing from you.
Yeah, no, I would absolutely agree with Monica's points there. I think the expectations are different as you proceed. So earlier stage companies, I think the team is much more important, and the TAM is much more important. The product, sometimes you don't even have a product, you have a concept of a product. You have to assume that the team will be able to figure it out over time. As you get to Series A, Series B, then you really need to have the product market fit that's really focused and clear. I think one of the other things we're seeing, more broadly as you're talking about the market, is that one of the reasons I think you're getting so much money being invested is because we are getting more established companies that are growing, and so you're having many more later stage rounds. So that's obviously much larger checks that are growing the market. Secondly, I think you're also seeing teams that are going after new sectors. So fintech has been booming in Latin America for a while now. I'd say the last 2 or 3 years, and so you've had large companies in that space. And now you're starting to see companies that are going after ag tech, healthcare, other areas that weren't necessarily attracting entrepreneurs, but now people are saying,
Antoine, I think you're
I
muted.
think you're muted. Yeah, I think you're muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't touch anything, so somebody must have muted me.
It's okay.
They didn't like what I was saying, I guess. I think, I don't know what you heard last, but I was just saying that I think that there are large segments, different large sectors that people are going after, healthcare, agriculture, things like that. That people are just assume that the incumbents were going to be able to, have massive market size and so on. And you're seeing that startups are saying, look, we can find a better way to do it. Back to Monica's point about being able to do something 10 times better. We can do something much better if we reinvent how we start. We don't have any legacy. We don't have anything that has, we've been doing for 20 years. We can start and do something better. And so I think that's where you're seeing a lot of excitement and a lot of new investments.
Okay, awesome. Great answers, guys. Thanks, appreciate it. I'm gonna have another question. And if we have the time, we're gonna make another one. So US-based VC investors are interested in the Brazilian market and also Latin American market in general. But sometimes they are intimidated as well by the complexity of investing in Brazil. I think Monica can relate with that, such as the exchange rate risk, political and economic uncertainty. So what startups actually need to have to attract VC attentions to their business to be worth the risk?
I can start with that. Well, I have to agree. I think Latin America still faces a level of political and economic uncertainty and risk that some investors are not willing to take. I think both Maya and Valor are willing to take that risk. And I think I mentioned before, right? Like the higher the risk, also the larger the opportunity. So at Maya, we still see so many problems to be solved in the region. And I agree with Antoine. I think technology is the best way of solving this problem. So you can actually create better solutions, more efficient solutions, think better about customer. So these are the things that are needed to actually help develop further the sectors that Antoine mentioned and all the changes, like the new needs that we've been living in this new crazy world, right? So I don't think the crisis scares us at all. I think on the other hand, I think it helps us realize that sometimes facing some challenges create new opportunities. And I think the example for this is this pandemic. We saw a shift on the way that we live, we work, how we eat, how we take care of our health, and how we shop online. So realizing these specific needs, realizing the difficulties that sometimes the region faces, might actually create amazing opportunities for a founder who decide to start companies and use technology to solve them. So we actually made a lot of investments during the pandemic. We invested in Nilo, which focuses on the elderly care, Oiko, making the life of the construction workers much easier, Alive, helping companies sell online and helping them sell via live stream. So I think in the end, we need to understand that there's the risk, but also find the opportunities behind these risks.
Yeah, I think it's been an evolution for international investors also for some time. I think early on, we've been doing this now 8.5 years in Brazil. I think early on investors are saying, look, Brazil is scary for me. I don't know. I don't understand labor law. I don't understand, all the different laws to set up a company. It seems intimidating and so on. I think over time, investors have gotten comfortable for a number of different reasons. One is I think our ecosystem has developed. So you've got earlier stage funds like Maya who are doing a good job of kind of getting companies set up properly from the very start, and working with great entrepreneurs that are then saying, look, this is a company that can get international investing. We're getting them prepared, right? So we work at Valor also when we do seed or Series A, we get them prepared from the start to be able to get international investors. I think also, frankly, the market has evolved overall in general also. You're seeing companies that are going to later stages and are going to IPO and things like that. So you're seeing exits was always a big question for international investors. Are there real exits in Brazil? Now you're starting to see that. So I think that's another thing that's attracting them. The other thing I would say is, look, if you look at the global perspective, it's, first of all, there's a lot of capital out there that needs to be invested. And, as Monica says, you want to go risk reward. So there is going to be more risk in some cases, but there's a higher reward. A lot of times, when people said we're going to look at emerging markets, which is a very broad phrase, they said we're going to go to China, we're going to go to India. Well, now China is showing some issues. India has had some very strong companies, but it's also a service economy that's very different. People are now saying, okay, Latin America is on the map. There are companies there we can invest in, and there are good investors to co-invest with. So I think at a higher level, and of course, with interest rates are globally being very, very low, people want to get a return on their capital. So they're going to have to take more risk. You see the public equity markets are booming, but they need to also, complement that with private equity. And so I think that's where we're seeing more capital going around the world, but also specifically looking at Latin America and saying, there are very good companies, there are very good founders here, and there are massive markets. Brazil has just, you don't even think about it, but the size of the trucking market. We've got a company in the trucking market, 60-something% of the U.S. trucking market. Beauty space, it's number 3 in the world. The gym space is number 2 in the world. These are massive, massive markets on a global scale that people are suddenly opening their eyes and saying, wow, there are companies that can be built here. And so I think that's also changed. It's been an evolution over time.
100%. With all this complexity that we have in Brazil, actually help to build a strong and resilient community, right? So very interesting points. VCs actually want to get to know the founders, watch them executed, right, and make the progress before even commit to the investment itself. Brazil has a difficulty with the tech talents, the same like with Latin America. Latin American startups can be relevant when competing with the global startups that have probably access to more qualified tech talents overall. What are you guys thinking about the access of tech talents and the challenge behind that?
Monica, you want to start?
Yeah. So, no, I agree. I mean, this is a challenge, I think, everywhere. But the problem is even worse in Brazil and Latin America. The good news is that more often than not, we see initiatives to try to change that. I think Tribe is one of the companies trying not only to form, but to finance tech leaders in Brazil. And this will impact all the other countries. But I think founders, and actually the whole ecosystem needs to take into consideration some of the points that Antoine mentioned. I think we're starting to see, I think we're going through a breakthrough moment in the sense that we're starting to see for the first time, the second time founders exploring new ideas and inspiring even more founders to start new businesses in Latin America. And I really think that this is a virtual cycle and talent is the first key factor. So we might still have a gap in terms of tech, but at least we see the best talent leaving the most traditional jobs and starting their companies, and we see more people even more leaving some tech companies to start their own and being inspired by these examples. And besides talent, we also have for the first time capital. So you mentioned we're hitting record after record. And for the first time, we have angel investors, seed stage funds, Series A, Series B, and funds that actually help, like Maya, like Valor, that actually help founders go through all the challenges of starting a company in Latin America. And finally, we have capital supporting this. So Antoine also mentioned about the exit opportunity. So I think this, the more we show, the more that we prove that this is just the beginning of a virtual cycle, I think the more we can convince talent to stay. And I think it's just a matter of time. I'm really bullish on that.
Yeah, I think there's been this narrative that Brazil just doesn't have enough tech talent to really start an ecosystem. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think we have a lot of tech talent. It's growing. We don't have everywhere in the world. I think we could use more. I mean, maybe only China is the one that has kind of the massive capacity of tech talent. I think we're seeing kind of ed tech companies trying to solve that in some ways. I think what will be interesting to see now with COVID is we're seeing that remote working is more of a reality than it was expected in the past. And so I wonder if that's going to make it easier for us to get talent for Brazilian companies getting tech talent from other places. So we won't have the boundaries of everyone has to be in Sao Paulo and we need to find tech talent in Sao Paulo or in Curitiba or something like that. I think we're looking at second, third tier cities throughout the country, but then I think we're looking outside the country too. And so I think that will make it easier in some ways. The one thing, the two areas that I have a little bit of concern is I think we don't have enough talent in certain things like AI, machine learning. I think there's a gap. So if you talk about the very highest level of tech talent, that's where you see a much bigger gap than other markets like Silicon Valley where I sit. And I think that's where we need to kind of continually grow kind of the strength. The other thing I would say is, there's this, again, everyone's focused on tech. I would argue that product management is an area that we need to continue to develop in Brazil, which is, there is a certain way of doing product management in Silicon Valley, especially, which is what I'm used to, which is kind of an apprenticeship sort of business, which is you learn from other people who have done it. You learn how to really build metrics-based products. You have dashboards that are really analytical and so on. And I don't think we have that same level in Brazil yet. And I think that's what one thing we need to encourage is to kind of bring that kind of skill set from outside of Brazil to Brazil, because it'll make us build products that can go on a global basis much stronger. And I think that's where we need to be, is to be able to compete on a global level with the kind of the quality of the products. I think that at a very soft, I think that we need the higher end and pursue product management as a skill set that we need to build in Brazil.
Make totally sense. With the gap, there is also the opportunity to develop those tech talents or to find those tech talents in other regions of the country. Guys, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Again, I invite for another round, Carlos, Chris, and Pat. So thank you so much. I'll see you guys back in the pitch time, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, for the second session, guys, we're going to have right now Carlos, Chris, and Pat. So I'm very excited for the second session as well. I have a couple of questions that I would like to discuss with them. So we're going to see pretty much them join me in the screen at any moment. I would like to talk a little bit about the global aspect of it. First of all, welcome for all of you. You guys can hear me pretty well. If you guys could say hi, I appreciate it. So then we make sure the audio is good as well.
Hey. Hi, Nelson. Thanks for having us.
Hi. Appreciate it.
Bom dia.
Bon dia.
Bom dia.
Okay. So, guys, I have a couple questions for you. And again, the order doesn't really matter. If you, like Carlos would like to start it, or Chris or Pat, it's more than welcome. What are actually startups need before fundraising? What are those first things that global investors such as you guys looking for in a startup? Is that product? Is that a team? Is that like a business model? What is more important for you guys? Carlos,
happy to start. Looks like my colleagues are shy, so I'll take the lead here. Look, it's not different from what we heard on the earlier panel, right? I mean, as entrepreneurs approach investors, it's very important that they have a well-articulated story. What is the problem they're solving? How is it that they're solving? Why is it that their solution will be better? I think, we heard 10x better. Those are all things that eventually will help you give a chance to build a larger business with attractive business model, right? So it's a combination of team, product, the problem being solved, and again, having that well-articulated, what's my go-to-market, what's my competition like. We often talk to entrepreneurs who don't quite, you ask them a little bit about the competition and they seem to have tunnel vision on their own stuff. So it's important to know what else is out there and be able to articulate why is it that your solution and your business model will allow you to eventually build a stronger business, right? With a large business with strong fundamentals.
Awesome. Chris or Pat?
Yeah, I would definitely mimic what Carlos said. Actually, a lot of the things that we do look at is very similar, almost identical to what you see in the regional VCs. So what we do hope that startups know before they talk to global or even the regional funds is, again, that the clear articulation of strategy and vision. It's very important for the entrepreneurial teams to really focus on what they plan to build. And of course, product technology differentiations, what we look for is magnitude of improvement, not just the percentage, but really massive magnitude of improvement, number one. Second one, of course, is sizable market opportunity. And the last one is, of course, a credible team.
Yeah, I would just add to that. I think so. We in our firm, we have a team that's focused on early stage deep tech opportunities, mostly in Europe, but actually theoretically can invest anywhere globally. And then my team actually invests specifically in Latin America. So in a way, and most of those investments are not going to be sort of deep tech. They're going to be applied tech, OTT type opportunities, the sorts of things that we're mostly talking about today. I think for global investors who are looking for technology, you really have to be, fundamentally differentiated. I mean, to both Chris and Carlos's point, you ought to be offering a technical innovation which is, world beating effectively, because you're competing against the US, you're competing against all the innovation centers in Europe. And I have to say, there has been less of that coming out of Latin America than there has been kind of applied technology opportunities. So when we focus on Latin America, we're thinking about, what are the big problems in very large markets that entrepreneurs can solve? The incumbents, say the financial services or education or healthcare, have done a poor job of addressing certain customer segments. Where are areas where entrepreneurs can solve those problems and build very large companies? That's really fundamentally what it comes down to. And is this the right team to do it? So I think it's a different perspective depending whether you're looking at deep tech opportunities or applied tech opportunities.
I would like to talk a little bit about network, guys. I'm based here in the Silicon Valley. I'm Brazilian. I'm representing Starts over here for the international operations. And I know, for example, the Bay Area is all about the network, right? The events that you visit, like the meetups, the collaboration, the whole ecosystem that is around the Bay Area. And when you're talking about like the Latin American and Brazil, how do entrepreneurs find the right VC funding for their startups? What's your advice to the entrepreneurs that wanted to start early, build a relationship in network with VCs globally, besides XTC, of course?
Hustle. You got to get out there and meet everybody. I mean, it's basic as that. Even in a digital era, it's still, either attending events, obviously virtually these days. Under normal circumstances, you just got to get out there and meet everybody. If that means traveling, you have to do it. There's some great organizations now, in addition to XTC. I mean, I would say Endeavor does an exceptional job of convening very good entrepreneurs with investors who have interest in emerging markets as well. But there are Kaufman Fellows as well. I mean, there are many organizations now that can facilitate these sorts of interactions. But you have to start early. That's really the key.
Exactly. Thanks, Ben.
Yeah, and maybe some advice to the entrepreneurs. Do your due diligence with investors themselves, as we would be doing for you folks. You want to make sure that you find a really good fit in terms of culture and in terms of strategy and such. Here at the Catalyst Fund, Samson Catalyst Fund, we want to make sure that there's a 1 + 1 = 3 type of equations for you and for us. We want to make sure that we can, in large part, help you advance your goals, and also for you folks to match the strategic vision. So I think the real big thing is, as mentioned, is really do your due diligence to the VCs, and we always all of us want to be helpful to you. So it's important for us to, match needs.
Just to add to this, Patrick mentioned hustle, no doubt. It's also very important to understand that obviously different investors focus on different sectors and different stages, right? So you want to try to zoom in and understand the landscape, which investors sort of like the space you're in and, are probably by definition, based on the panel here, more focused on early stage. And then when you approach them is like, often you want to do an informational interview style as opposed to go immediately to sales pitch. Right? So you want to ask questions. How do you see this? Here are my thoughts on this. How do you see this, etc. I think that will help build this relationship early on that Patrick talked about.
Great point, guys. I think that's going to be very helpful for all these startups that are going to pitch today, and also the audience that are watching us and they want to build their relationship internationally. Well, I would like to thank you guys. I think we're all very excited for the pitch time. So thank you so much for all of you guys. Again, I'll see you pretty soon on the pitch with the startups. So I know that all of you guys that are watching, you're very excited for the startups. We have 10 amazing startups and 10 amazing founders or representatives for each startup. We're gonna get them ready right now for you. We're gonna start with Michael from Vitalk. You guys gonna see Michael pretty sure talk with us. The judge that's gonna be on that pitch is gonna be Monica and Carlos as well. So, Chris, I'm sorry, and Chris as well. So we're very, very excited to hear right now Michael talk about Vitalk. Michael, can you hear us? Are you ready? Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm excited. I can hear you guys.
First of all, thank you so much and congratulations to making the top 10 of XT Brazil Tech Challenge. So we're very happy and excited actually to hear about a little bit more about Vitalk. You're gonna see a stop clock watch that's 3 minutes. So as soon as you tell me that you are ready, I'm gonna let the clock run, okay? So also in the screen is gonna be just you and your presentation. But that doesn't mean that we are not paying attention and hearing you. All the judges is gonna be here with us. But then Monica and Chris is gonna be the one that's gonna come back after your presentations and then use the 3 minutes to ask questions. Okay? Any question? Do you have any question? You're ready?
No, I'm ready. I don't see it at 3 minutes, and I also don't have the arrow.
Yeah, we get it right now for you. No worries. I
Okay,
just
fantastic.
want to make sure you're ready before that. Monica and Chris, all set as well?
Yes.
Okay. Awesome.
Hey, Mike.
Awesome.
Yes.
Good luck.
Okay, you're gonna be back right now on the screen with Michael and his presentation. Once you guys see Michael and his presentation, we're gonna start it. Michael again gonna have 3 minutes to pitch his business, his idea, and talk a little bit more about Vitalk. And Monica and Chris is gonna be on the backstage over here, just like scoring based on the 4 criteria that I mentioned in the beginning of the conversation. Okay. As soon as we have the pitch deck ready for Michael. Michael, you can see the 3 minutes and you can see your deck.
I don't see the 3 minutes. I don't see my deck. Not yet.
Okay. If you notice over here and on the screen in the bottom, that's just us that is organizing. Can you see? You're gonna see your deck. So in the 3 minutes as well. Can you see that? Let me know.
Okay, so I think now I see my deck, and
then the bottom is the 3 minutes clock.
3 minutes should be on top, right? On top right.
Yeah.
It
and I
hasn't
see
gone.
On the bottom of your presentation.
Yeah, I don't see 3 minutes at the bottom, but I see the green on the top right.
Okay, so I'm gonna let the 3 minutes go once you're ready. When you start to talk, the 3 minutes is gonna run, and then I come back on the last 10 seconds, okay?
Great, sure. Well, let's get going.
Let me know, okay. So as soon as you start to talk, I'm gonna leave the room, and then you're all set for 3 minutes pitch.
Great, can I start?
Yes.
Great. So Brazil is living through a mental health epidemic with nearly 20% of the population suffering from disorders such as anxiety and depression. It could be your colleague at work. It could be your daughter. And the problem is therapy is for the rich. A month of therapy costs half of a minimum wage salary. And the reason for this is because therapy in itself is very ineffective. It still uses paper and pen, and the therapist can only see one person at a time. Vitalk aims to change all that by applying AI to therapy. We use bots, chatbots basically, to automate the therapeutic process, starting from a pre-diagnosis, snatching you to the right therapist for you. Then therapists can prescribe exercises that you can do on your own time, such as helping you get over a relationship, things that you do with the chatbot, and as well monitoring your symptoms over time. When the therapist comes by to actually check on you for the next week's session, you already have all the data of everything that you've done with the chatbot over the whole week, all perfectly organized. And our algorithms recommend exactly the course of action that the therapist needs to take to be effective. As a result, we've been able to decrease the amount of time in therapy from 1 hour to 15 minutes per patient, which means that the same therapist can treat 4 patients in the same amount of time. As a result, the price of therapy has fallen from 400 to 80 reais per month, maintaining a very healthy margin. And users love this app. They spend on average 3 hours per month on our app. And the retention rate is nearly 70%, much higher than even traditional therapy and much better than those other apps that exist. We've even published a study showing that our system is effective in reducing symptoms by 30 to 40% in 8 weeks, which is on par with traditional therapy. As we get more and more patients to use the system, the bots and the algorithms improve, making the therapist more effective, which therefore lowers the price and drives more patients to our system. And because we're a social impact startup, we have access to millions of patients who use our free app, and we have partnerships with the public and international organizations to get access to millions of patients that can give us more data and make our algorithms even smarter. We currently make the business sustainable through corporate, although we are looking into insurance and pharmaceutical. We charge employers a small fee per employee and also a fee for those who actually use therapy. Since we launched in January, these are the clients that we have onboarded just in the last couple of months. Our MRR is already going to be reaching, for this product, nearly 200,000 reais in recurring revenue by end of year. We have about 10,000 active users using some of our digital work that are monetized users. And our overall company revenue, which doesn't include MRR, will go over 6 million reais this year. We are raising 12 million reais for 12 months and 12 million in revenue to get to 12 million revenue. A Fortune 40 under 40 healthcare influencer. This is our fantastic team right over here. Dr. Nays, Fabio, Mariana, Andre, we're 40 people total. So let us make mental health care affordable for all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michael. Great. Well, I helped you because it was like a little bit over the 10 seconds, but you did a great job, so I let you go. So I appreciate it.
The slide, it was very slow to switch the slides. There was at least 2 seconds every time I had to switch.
No worries, exactly. I noticed, so that's why I think it was no problem. So right now we are back with you, Monica and Chris. Monica and Chris, you guys can, if you notice, then in the bottom there is all of us over here, and then the 3 minutes. So I'm gonna let the 3 minutes go, and then you guys can more than asking questions and interact with Michael. Okay.
Perfect.
Thank you, Michael. Thanks. It was a very interesting discussion. A question for you. Since the quality of therapists is really key to your success, how do you go about recruiting top-notch therapists, as well as how do you keep their skills up to date?
Yeah, so it's a very great question. As I said, our algorithms actually help recommend exercises and guide the therapist in terms of what they're doing. So it's a little bit hands-off. The therapist doesn't actually have to be top-notch for you to be able to use the system. And in fact, we can actually have a really good quality control. So we can see how much time the therapist is spending, what messages they are texting with our patients, and what is the result on retention rates and the improvement in symptoms. We can actually screen them out. Although currently the therapists are on our bankroll, we're paying them part-time. We actually see this in the future expanding, much like the Lyra Health, which is a unicorn, where they can actually bring therapists in network and control them remotely. They don't have to be on payroll. But that's how we're able to maintain therapy good. And the same kind of process will work with health coaches and other medical professionals when we expand to those areas as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michael, and congrats on the presentation. On this point, I wanted to ask about the professionals. How does VTalk today pay? How much does it pay per professional? And how can you sustain cheaper prices? It's not clear to me how you can sustain that.
Right. No, so actually our professionals are paid significantly above any of our competitors. We pay them between 50 and 60 reais per hour. Our health plan pays therapists 35 reais an hour, and our competitors pay them 35, 40 reais an hour. Why can we maintain prices of 15 or 20 reais per week? It's because a lot of that process is automated. The therapist only spends 10 to 15 minutes per patient per week, because the rest is done by the chatbots. They prescribe exercises, and during the week, the patient is actually talking to the chatbot, measuring their symptoms, and automating that process. That's because in the current therapeutic process, when you talk to the therapist for an hour, she's there listening to you for a long time, and she's making actions based on her own experience and not on data that's leveraged from thousands of patients that have gone through therapy. This allows us to be more effective. And so as a result, the therapists are actually paid more. They spend less time per patient. They can see more patients, and the results are just as good, if not better, than the traditional way of treating mental health, which is phenomenal.
Okay, thank you.
You guys still have a couple seconds for one interaction. Last question, guys. Chris and Monica, if you.
One more question, Michael. How do your corporate customers, how do they specifically measure VTalk success?
So it's a very good question because we sell an end-to-end solution to corporate customers that starts off with a mental health mapping and a BI to understand how their population's mental health status is. This is done through clinically validated scales that are developed by our team and they're nationally recognized. That actually map the organization. We use our bots to do a certain number of destigmatization and endo-marketing campaigns, and then provide different levels of therapy for different employees depending on their needs, including sending people to psychiatric help if they're the higher end spectrum. So therefore, we can show KPIs regarding engagement, improvements in worker productivity using the worker productivity scales and job stress scales, and then we can show improvements in clinical symptoms that are important. That's how we're able to enter into large accounts quickly with a digital solution and then expand the share of wallet over time. That's why we have such very large organizations that we onboarded very quickly.
Thank you very much.
Great job, Michael. Congratulations. Chris and Monica, thank you so much. We're going to move to the next speech, okay? Thank you, Michael, again. Okay, for this next speech, guys, we're going to have the Plataforma Verde was also green plant. So with Rafael, Monica and Chris is going to be also the judge for the platform, for the pitch as well. So, Rafael, are you ready?
Yes, and excited.
Awesome, my friend. Very happy. I think we don't have Rafael on the screen, actually. So, guys, please, Rafael on the screen. I do have Monica and Chris right now. So just want to make sure, yes, just want to make sure we have the right Rafael. I know we have a couple Rafaels over here. So Rafael is going to be ready for us and his presentation pretty soon. Also, Monica again and Chris is going to be able to ask questions. So now I have Rafael. Welcome, Rafael, officially. Good to see you here.
Hello, everyone. I just don't see my pitch yet, but I think it's loading probably.
Yes, okay. Okay, now you know it's going to be Chris and Monica as well asking questions. We're going to be back with Rafael in his pitch deck. Once you see Rafael, please notice that next to your screen, next when you press the icon to next slide, is next as well to the one that closed the slides. So be careful to not close the presentation, so then you can keep going with your presentation, okay? Once you're on the screen with me again in the presentation, you're going to notice that on the bottom here on our virtual lab, you can see your pitch yourself in the 3 minutes, okay? Just to make sure you are ready for that. Gonna make sure here that we do have your presentation ready to go. And once you have the presentation ready to go, same thing. I'm gonna be back with you in the last 10 seconds, okay? When I appear on the screen with you, that means you have 10 seconds. To be fair with you, I'm gonna give you an extra 5 seconds, 10 seconds, because I did that with Michael as well. So I think that makes sense for you too. We're excited to hear your pitch. Just getting ready with your presentation. So right now I can see we do have Rafael presentation right now. I don't think so. Let's wait.
I think just loaded on my screen, but it's still with no controls yet.
Yeah, let me see. We're gonna give you control, so then you can go ahead and okay. Now I see you in your presentation. Once you said that you are ready, I'm gonna leave this 3 minutes to start. Okay.
Right. I think now I see everything here, so I'm ready.
Okay. Good luck. Bye bye.
All right. So I'm Rafael from Griplat. Thank you very much for the invitation to be here and to talk about how we help accelerate sustainable production. So I'll start with the challenge, which is huge, and I think everybody knows here. But when we look at Brazil, almost half of the waste is not destined to product, and that has a huge burden to society and to the environment. On top of that, company faces the complex regulations and the push from consumers for more sustainable products and processes. And it's a complex environment, but we built a solution for that. So Greenplat is a software as a service kind of solution that uses blockchain to control everything around waste management in a single and simple environment. And by doing that, we can help our clients to extract value from that data so that they can run their processes. We have started in the industry, but then we moved all around the supply chain. So nowadays we can control all the way from the raw material sources into the product that goes to consumer. And with time, we have built a very solid platform that uses all this technology in real time so that company can control every aspect of their operation. And in a way, it's a compliance and audit too, but also helps to have real-time ESG KPIs. And that brings a lot of results to our clients. And talking a little bit about impact and results, we would like to talk a little bit about the case that we have with the municipality of São Paulo, which we donated our software. And nowadays we have more than 680,000 companies registered that, with 45,000 using them on a daily basis. We are controlling around 18,000 tons per day of waste. And by using our software, the municipality managed to reduce their costs in around $35 million a year. And the same kind of impact and results that we brought to the public sector, we also bring to our private companies. And you can see here just a few of the companies that are our clients. We have more than 1,500 clients currently on the monthly fee basis and across 20 sectors. We have been recognized by several institutions, and the one that I would like to highlight here is the World Economic Forum as technology pioneer for using blockchain for non-financial application. We have a very motivated team. Right now we have around 100 people in total. And talking a little bit about here today, we want to go internationally. We are, with the plan, we will have a global platform and to be the ESG impact metrics. Most of our clients are pushing us to go abroad, so we are preparing ourselves to do that. So we are in a round of investment exactly to do just that. So we hope for the next year to be abroad, both in Latin America and the US. And I hope that this presentation was clear here, and I'm ready for your questions. Thank you very much.
Good time, Rafael. Good job. Almost pretty much perfect on 3 minutes. Well trained. So congratulations to your presentation. I'm gonna invite as well, Monica and Chris to come back over here and ask a couple questions for you. When we are ready, we're gonna be all of us in the screen. Okay, we're gonna have the 3 minutes clock again. Guys, once you started, Chris or Monica, we're gonna start to count the 3 minutes, okay? Good luck, Rafael.
Thank you. Do you want to start, Chris?
No, you start this time.
Thank you, Rafael, for the great pitch. I actually wanted to ask, it seems that you have 45,000 companies using your platform on a daily basis. I wanted to understand how many of these 45,000 actually pay for the service, and what is the difference between the paid platform and then the non-paid platform?
Good question. So basically we have two main products. One is the Green Plat, which is the private solution that we sell on the software as a service base. That one we have 1,500 clients paying there. But we also have the public platform, which we donated to the municipality of São Paulo on the freemium basis. And there's where we have most of the numbers. So most of the companies, all the companies here in São Paulo city use our software, and those 45,000 come from there. So they use just on a simple surveillance mode so that the municipality can control everything that's happening in the city.
And sorry, just a follow-up question on that. What will you make to increase the number of companies signing and paying for the platform?
In a way, the software that we donated to the municipality is helping a lot, because first it's a validation on our solution, our technology, and especially on the data privacy issues, but also fosters the surveillance, fosters the fiscalization, the regulations, and allows the municipality to better control. So we are doing that across the whole Brazil, and that is triggering more and more companies to call us and reach to use our private solutions, so that they can actually manage what's happening inside their factories and their facilities.
Thank you.
Hi, Rafael. Great presentation. Some questions for you. Regarding your business model, I was wondering if you could comment more directly on how do you charge for your software as a service? Are you treating the small and large customers a little differently? You have a very wide, varied selection of customers that you have.
Well, thank you very much for this question. We have a software as a service base, so we basically have a monthly fee, and we have inside the private solution more than 18 variations of our modules. So it's different segmentations from the small user, the small industry, or let's say restaurant, supermarket, to the huge scale industry. And we charge per unit. So we have these prices for different kind of clients and operations, and we charge according to that. We also have extra functionalities that we charge depending on the need for internal management, for example.
Thank you.
Awesome, Rafael. Thank you, Monica and Chris. I'm gonna see you guys back in with your other pitch. Rafael, congratulations for the pitch. Great job. Okay.
Thank you very much.
No problem. Okay, my friends, we're gonna have the third startup over here right now. It's gonna be Osmar. He's gonna talk with me, and also the judge that's gonna be with us is gonna be Carlos and Antoine. So with that said, please, Osmar, get ready. We also gonna have your pitch ready. So we're gonna see in time. I would like to welcome right now Carlos and Antoine for that round for the first pitch with Osmar. Osmar, can you hear me? Microphone okay? Everything okay?
Yes, perfectly. I just don't see the control command here.
No worries. I'm gonna give you the opportunity right now. Gonna just be with you in the screen, okay? So I just wanted to say hi for all of you guys, and then Osmar is back with me with his deck presentation, and then gonna be ready to go and give us the pitch about syntaxes. Once we have Osmar ready, Osmar, keep in mind again, they're gonna be back in the screen for the last 10 seconds, so then you know it's all about to get the time is all about to run over, okay? So Osmar, okay. Once you're ready, you can start. I'm gonna leave the screen.
Okay, let's go. Hello everyone. I'm the co-founder and CIO at Syntaxes. Syntaxes solution mitigates CO2 emissions by providing an automatic fire outbreak detection system to tackle wildfires in its early stages. As you know, wildfires are a global environmental disaster with direct impact on climate change, human health, biodiversity, and the economy. Every fire outbreak could be put out with the sole of the boot. It relies only on the time of reaction time. But how we do that? High-resolution cameras installed on the top of towers identifies the smoke within the range of 9.5 miles in about 3 minutes. The moment the system detects the smoke, a sound and visual alert are activated, and fire brigades are warned to take action. The system also provides the exact location of the fire outbreak, and that increases the efficiency of the fire brigades. The system is energy and communication independent. And this is our fire situation room. We build in our clients to support and manage operations and reduce risk. The Syntaxes tech pillars are historical CO2 emissions measurement, fire risk analysis, real-time fire outbreak detection, fire brigade management tools, and CO2 data analysis. It has provided 90%, It has provided 90% of reduction in losses due to accuracy, real-time response, and increased fire brigade efficiency, and that provided CO2 emissions reductions. This is a real example of one of our clients. As you can see, the cases of no fire, and it's the blue dots. We cover more than 6,175,000 acres here in Brazil, with 25 monitoring towers covering and 11 fire situation rooms in 7 Brazilian states. We are working together. We are working together. Well, this is we are growing 100% since the beginning, and of our every year now. So I'm having problems with the button here. Well, this is we work with the academy. We work with the climate hubs, and we've been awarded for that. This is a real example of our impact. It's easy to measure. We reduce emissions from wildfires and fight climate change, avoid forests to burn and protect life on land, mitigate smoke from wildfires and protect human health, and provide firefighters with better working conditions. And that and avoid losses caused by disaster. This is our management team. We will have a total team of 20 people. We are entrepreneurs, engineers, innovators. We have a group of scientists working with us, and an amazing group of advisors. I would like to leave you with one quote from David Attenborough. If we make the right decision at this critical moment, we can safeguard our planet's ecosystem, its extraordinary biodiversity, and all its inhabitants. What happens next is up to every one of us. Thank you.
Great job, Osmar.
I have problems with the control.
I saw that, no worries. That's happening when we are in the web conference and with all those challenges that we have nowadays. I'm gonna welcome the judge to talk a little bit with you to make questions, but we did a great job. So again, congratulations.
Sorry about that. I was pressing at the bottom, just didn't work, and then when it worked, jumped 2 slides. So it was crazy.
It's all good, Osmar. You did great. You did great.
Exactly. We all know the challenge that we have nowadays, right? So we're all considering that, and that's also a good. It's a good point. But you did a great job, so no worries. I'm gonna give the word for the judge, so then we can start the 3 minutes and asking questions. Okay?
Very good. Let me start real quick. Congrats. This is very powerful. I actually saw recently this documentary a couple of weeks ago. Was very impressed. I was very intrigued by what you said about being energy and communications independent, right? Presumably, this would be your special sauce, the ability to deploy cameras in the middle of jungle remote locations. Can you tell us a little bit more about how you were able to do this? What's behind the team, or who's behind the team that was allowed you to sort of create the solution, which seems very interesting.
Yes, we built our own network of radio communications point-to-point network, and we can bring the data for more than 300 kilometers. That's what we do in one of our clients here from the forestry sector in Brazil. Our towers are equipped with the photovoltaic system and batteries to sustain it with 3 days with no sun, and it's working very well. At the beginning, we suffered a lot to find the right recipe and to bring it up, but now after a few years, we have a pretty more economic, energy efficient system, and there's no blackouts anymore. So we are very happy with what we have built since 2 years ago, and that's what we do. That's we take care of it, make it. We like to use watchdogs to avoid it to fall, and we fix it in about 24 hours maximum once there is a physical problem in the tower. So we try to maintain it up all the time.
Thanks. I mean, I look, we living in the Bay Area here, we faced wildfires for quite a few weeks here where we couldn't go out because of the air quality, and it's been very, we've had very bad seasons. So obviously this is a very important thing for a number of us here. I had the same question as Carlos, but going into that a little bit also, do you have any issues with false positives in your technology, or is it, how are you kind of viewing when you're seeing a fire, is the technology able to see what a fire is, what it's, if it's foggy, if it's things like that, are they able to get through that different kind of differences in kind of changes in what's happening on the horizon? And are you using partners to help you just to put the actual physical product into the forest, or are you doing it yourself?
Okay, perfect. The false positive is an issue concerning cameras because you don't want to miss a thing. Exactly. So we set our AI algorithm to identify the maximum amount of smoke, but it has deep learning, so it starts learning with the environment it lives. So we try to sublimate unwanted fogs, but the final decision is for the operator, because we are not about to let a fire brigade act without having a real confirmation of the size of the fire outbreak, what it is, the exact location. So we won't waste money with mobilizing something that you don't need. Today, sometimes, due to satellite information that people also use, satellites have a different kind of temporality. So sometimes when you got some positive from a satellite and the teams are warned to go, maybe there's not even a fire anymore. So you have the visual, you can test it before you act. So we are balancing it to have a low rate of false positives, but it's an issue that we balance our product not to miss any possible fire, because you don't want to, you want it to be so, it's not a fire, and then it is. So it's better to look at this and no, it's not a fire. But yes, we have local teams in the 7 states. We have ground teams to solve any physical problem. There's a strong wind, there's lightning, there's something that happened with the radio was burned or something like that. We have local teams close to the tower, so we can be fast to do that. We have our own team of infrastructure, but we are changing that because we want to be taking care not in the booster, but we want to take care of the spaceship. That's what we're doing now. We are just forgetting the booster. We are transferring technology to one of our partners that are working together with us, and then we are switching the key. And we want him to take care of all the infrastructure. We don't want to mess with that anymore. We want to take care of carbon footprint measurements. We want to bring the account of how wildfires are emitting CO2, and that's one thing pretty new. No one's doing that. It was not even taken under consideration the amount of emissions from wildfires. And we are with the Science Academy looking at that point. That's one of our main goals, how to measure. After our solution, how it has reduced. So we can help with the GRI reports, with all the information and transparency marketing is asking now.
Awesome, Osmar. Thank you for your pitch and for answering all the questions. I appreciate it. We're going to move for the next startup, okay? And we're going to keep the same judge for that one. While we're preparing to the next startup with Metro Lab, Vicente, I also would like to give the audience and also the next startups that are doing the pitch, just like be aware that sometimes because we are doing that virtually, we also could have like this small technical issues, but keep with your pitch, keep it talking, and then all the judges are considering just like the message behind the technical problems, the things that you're delivering, and the everything that you're talking about startup. So no worries about the technical issues, can happen. We are here to hear more about your business, okay? So Vicente, are you ready? Can you hear us? Say yes.
Yes, can you hear me?
Oh, so yes, I can hear you as well. Same thing. We're gonna right now. We're gonna be back. Just myself on the screen again. Keep in mind, just pass your slide. If you take like 1 or 2 seconds, no worry about that. Keep with your pitch. Keep ready, and the judge is gonna evaluate your business model, your idea, and the problem that you're solving. Okay. With that said, you probably see me and your pitch deck in the screen. Am I right? It's freezing for me right now, but I guess you're ready to go, almost ready to go. Oh, okay. We should have like a small problem with connection with Vicente. We're gonna put it back again, him in his presentation. But again, guys, for the startup direct to come, just keep in mind that small technical issues can happen, and then we're gonna try to minimize that with your ideas. Okay.
Do you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. I just cannot see you on a camera. So we're gonna try to solve that small problem with Vicente, and then we're gonna be back with him with his pitch deck. I'm very impressed actually by the level of startups, the ideas, the problem they're solving. We hear about even a blockchain, emerging technology. So very good pitch and very good startups. Great job. I'm gonna wait a little bit for Vicente. And then to show in the screen, I could see him for a while.
Do you hear me?
I do not see you right now, Vicente. Once I see you on the screen, I'm gonna let you know, okay?
Do you hear me?
Yes, I do see you right now. I think we're gonna put you on the screen right now. Yes, I see you and I can hear you. Let me know when you're ready. Again, no problem, no worries about the small technical issues. We are here to focus. Okay?
Sorry for that.
As soon as I start to talk, I'm gonna leave the room. Good luck.
Thank you. So the journey of Metron started when I discovered that half of the energy produced on the planet is being used by industrials, and most of those industrials are consuming that energy with a very inefficient way. More than 30% of the energy they're consuming is not used to produce all their goods and product. It is wasted. So how to tackle this subject? In Metron, we have tackled this subject by being able to collect and connect all the information inside the factory and being able to take those data and optimize the energy consumption by creating the digital twin of that factory and helping the industrials to understand for all of their products how much energy they're using. So monitoring each electron and each molecule entering inside the factory and going outside in a product. So managing, in the end, energy as a raw material and not just a commodity. In the end, we developed this platform and we are selling this platform today as a software as a service. And it helps to those industrial to monitor and optimize the energy consumption in real time for each and every recipe they are making inside the factory. If I take a small example to what we do on a daily basis, is we're able to connect to any type of asset inside the factory. So very old machines to brand new machine without installing hardware. So just by using the existing data on site and being able to connect to any type of protocol inside the factory. So if I take this example of this arc furnace in Colombia, in Cali, this furnace is 68 years old. So it's a very old system, but we managed to connect to it and gather sufficient amount of data to be able to detect optimization that could be done inside the furnace by doing the digital twin of that system, linking all the data to a knowledge base. And this is where our system is optimizing, is by crossing all the machine learning tools that we have with what we call ontologies. Ontologies are knowledge base that helps to really understand the limits of the machine and brings in the end a complete digital twin of their factory. And in the end, what is the output of this system is insights, optimization guidelines for the operator in front of that machine. If we look at a broader view, our vision is not just to optimize the factory, but being able to integrate the factory inside an ecosystem. So being able to understand how much energy this factory is using, how much we can optimize, and maybe how much of that energy we can re-inject inside the territory. So the cities around this factory or other systems like energy storage or other consumers that are around this factory. We've been able to create that system thanks to a very smart team that is specialist in AI, in energy efficiency, but also that was able to sell very actively to big industrials and quickly. Since the beginning of Metron, we've been able to deploy this system in hundreds of factories around the world. We're deployed the system in more than 20 countries, and we operate the solution from our different offices around the world, in Latin America, in Europe, in Middle East, and in Asia. And we've been able also to sell this technology to facility managers or energy utilities that are resellers of our technology to their own clients. So we have a two-pillar sales strategy directly to the big industrials or the big corporates industrials, and also to the facility managers that are reselling our technology to their own clients. We raised in a Series A 18 million euros in 2018, and we are raising right now 30 million euros, where 12 million is already secured, 10 is on the way, and we're missing 10 million for this Series B in the end. Thank you very much. And I hope you heard everything.
Yeah, it was great. No problem. You have problems with your audio. It was great.
The networks are crowded here in France because our president is speaking right now. So the communication is very, very difficult. Yeah.
No worries. We could hear you. I'm gonna bring back the judge to ask you a couple questions. Okay. Again, we're gonna have another 3 minutes of questions, and the judge is gonna come back right now to the screen with me and Vicente. Okay. We have 3 minutes on the clock, please, and then as soon as if Carlos want to start it, I don't know, or
I'll let Antoine start this time.
Please.
Talk to his French countrymen.
Thank you.
Fair enough.
Well, I was asking, it's very interesting. The idea of creating kind of a digital version of the plant is very interesting. How long does it take you to implement when you work with a new customer?
So 6 years ago, it was taking 6 months. To date, it's taking 1 month to deploy the system, and we're heading for 10 days by the end of the year.
And is that mainly on your side or on the customer side?
So it was mainly on our side in the past years, but since we're partnering now with facility managers, we are training them to deploy the technology, and now they are more depending on the maturity of the alliance we built, they are able to deploy themselves the technology.
Interesting.
So we passed from a model where we were selling SaaS platform plus implementation cost, where now we're heading for pure SaaS and asking to Accenture, to Capgemini, or those type of guys to implement the solution, or energy managers like energy facility managers.
So Vincent, still on this track, so presumably you are deploying sensors, right? So you can collect the data. Otherwise, I'm not sure how you would be able to get the data and measure. Is your business model hardware as a service, meaning you don't charge for it? You don't charge separately and you just charge the service as part of your SaaS, or do you charge for this hardware, the sensors, and then in addition you get the SaaS fee?
The innovation is that we're not installing hardware or meters. We are using all the internal sensors of the machines. So we connect to what we call the automation systems on the machines, so that we can get all the information of that machine, and we can recreate monitoring elements that helps us to understand the energy consumption of that machine. So on one hand, we have all the information that tells us that this machine is on or off. And on the other hand, we have a knowledge base where we have all the data sheet of that machine that tells us that when this machine is on, it's consuming this amount of energy. And when we have sensors on site, which is for us gold when we have them, and many factories have already those sensors, we can connect to it directly, and we can compare our estimation with this information, and we can learn from that and make better models in the end. So we start with the existing information on site. So we leverage the existing investment on the factory already. And then if we leverage and we find more savings and money on site, we can reinvest that saving into new sensors in other zones of the factory where there is no information, for example. That's what we call the maturity cycle of our client. We start from a perimeter and then we go to another. And this makes also the stickiness of the solution. Clients,
thank you.
Since 6 years are still our clients.
Thank you.
Great job with the pitch, Vicente. Thanks for the question. We're gonna move for the next one. Okay, next one's Rafael from Ribbon. I think we're gonna have pretty much Rafael also ready with his pitch deck. Before that, I'm gonna let you know that for Rafael, it's gonna be Monica and Pat as the judge and asking questions by the end of his pitch. So as soon as we have Rafael ready and the pitch deck ready, we're gonna put all of them in the screen. Okay, welcome, Rafael. It's not just me, or can you, Monica, can you hear Rafael, Pat?
No. Hello?
No, yeah, I don't hear Rafael as well, but I hear you, Monica, and probably gonna hear Pat as well. I see you unmuting, then you're talking, but I cannot hear you, Rafael, so no problem. We're gonna try to help you because your microphone looks open. So, okay, we're gonna be back with Rafael. Again, those small technical issues is not considering on the evaluation, guys. So no worries about that. We still have Ribbon as a number 5 startup to pitch you today. So we are halfway right now to hear another great pitch. From the number 1 to number 4, till now we had a great pitch. And
can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear Rafael, back to the screen right now. I think we are all set. Say hi again, Rafael. Welcome.
Thank you, Nelson.
Of course, my friend. Okay, I'm gonna be back with myself on the screen, then gonna put Rafael in his pitch deck. Once Rafael in his pitch deck is on the screen, we're gonna have another 3 minutes of pitch. So Rafael, it's almost ready to go. I'm excited to hear another pitch over here and also questions. Rafael, can you see your screen?
Yes. Yes,
awesome.
Perfectly.
So as soon as you start, I'm gonna leave the room and the floor is yours, okay?
Thank you. So hey guys, my name is Rafael. You can call me Rafa. I'm co-founder of Ribbon, a startup that connects big and small donors. And doing that, we increase institutional donations around 60%. Okay. So I started Ribbon with other 2 co-founders. I take care of business, Juju takes care of tech, and João product. We have attracted a great 18 people team. Some of them worked before at Twitter and IBM, for example. And we are a pre-Series A company with Redpoint Ventures as main investors. So we are here to solve 2 problems. The first one is that millennials would love to have donations inside their routine. And the second one is that philanthropists and foundations have afraid of being lonely heroes. Actually, US foundations are holding $1.5 trillion in assets right now in their bank accounts. And these 2 problems are inside a huge market that moves $1.8 trillion a year. That is the donation market. And to explain Ribbon, I will use these 3 stakeholders: big donors, charities, and small donors. And so imagine that a foundation is going to donate, for example, $10,000 to a charity. And instead of donating directly, imagine if we could distribute that money to 10,000 people. And the only thing that these 10,000 people could do with that $1 is donate to that same charity. Well, people love to help, the feeling of helping others. And when they do that, some of them engage a little bit more. Let's say of 200 of them engage at $30 more. And the charity just raised $9,000 more. So the charities get very happy because they are now with $19,000. The foundation very happy as well because we connected 10,000 people to donate with them, and users could donate to charity even for free. This is where we start their 10x experience. So we are doing that right now with big companies and donors such as SoftBank, maior, and Malvi, and we have a client waiting list for 6 months right now. We are working with great charities as well, such as WFP, World Food Program, UN agency, and we are increasing 160% of the original funds. And for our user base, our 40,000 user base, we gamify the donation experience. And we kind of distribute that money from philanthropists inside our app, our mobile app, and outside as well. So every action that you do, a user make, they can earn ribbons or virtual coin, and they can donate that virtual coin to charity for free, or they can buy more ribbons and etc. So, for example, every time a person goes to the gym with Gym Pass, they can donate 1 day of basic healthcare for a child, for example. And we are building these integrations as our main growth channel. And right now with Singu, Creditas, Passei Direto, Twitch streamers, and other great platforms as well. And when the user, Ribbon user, wants to donate more, 90% of them, they do in a monthly subscription way. And our revenue is we charge a success fee of 30% of extra money raised, and we charge the foundation or the philanthropist, right? We are growing quickly, like around 10 to 15% every month since ever. And that's how we are creating the habit of good deeds. Thank you.
Thank you, Rafael. Great pitch, great job. I'm gonna bring back the judge to the screen. So we're gonna have another 3 minutes to ask you questions. But first of all, congratulations for your pitch. Pat and Monica, I don't know who is gonna start, but as soon as you guys started, we're gonna count the 3 minutes, okay?
Thank you. Rafa, it's very cool. I spent some time looking into this space a little while ago. Can you describe how you acquire your donators? I guess not the foundations, but the end users. And two other questions. What kind of unit economics are you generating on that acquisition? And then lastly, how do you keep them from going around the platform and just donating directly to the charity of choice that they've now discovered through your platform?
That's great. That's great. First question. We were attracting users by referral and influencers, and now we are making integrations as our main growth channel. So, for example, with Creditas, they are simulating credits, and Creditas paid nothing, but all the user base can donate for free, and that's where we engage new users. The second part of our question was how why the donors don't donate directly, right? Because they keep earning these ribbons as they engage with the platform for free, and when they buy more ribbons, they can donate more ribbons. They get a better profile. That's it. It's very simple, but I can track all my donations. So me, Rafael, I donated 10 days of safe water, 10 days of basic healthcare, and if they don't want to donate directly, that's fine. But we encourage that. But the main value proposition for users is have donations on their routine, and that's what we deliver.
Thank you, Rafa. I actually have two questions. First of all, how do you track the use of these proceeds? I mean, how are they actually generating a positive impact? First question. And second, assuming that you grow to the point in which you have millions in revenue, like, do you think that donators should push back on your take rate of 30%?
Great. The first question, the second question, actually, I'm going to ask. Yes, when we have plans that more funds, we are going to get lower rates for each foundation, each philanthropist. Okay. And sorry, can you repeat the first question?
So, how do you track the use of the proceeds? So,
okay. So every charity, they have like impact people working on that. For example, fee institution, impact reports. All of them have impact reports, and that's we don't do that impact reports. It's third parties that we have partnerships. So very crowded market, and a lot of great companies doing that.
Okay, and as you grow, do you expect them to pressure the 30% take rate? Because if you reduce the take rate, this means they can support more projects.
Yes. So right now, there exists 40% take rate when they do dinners. So it's actually a little bit lower. And since we are not taking rate of the donation that already existed, we are creating new donors, creating new donation money. That's not so sensitive. And the whole benchmark for the whole market with the most efficient way is around 25 to 30% right now. So we don't expect that pushback. We expect, like, when we're going to build great things with just one foundation, okay, we can reduce that. But for overall, that's not going to happen.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Rafael. Thanks for the questions as well, Monica and Pat. Gonna be back with the next startup right now. So we're gonna have the Prosumir with Gabriel. And also for this round of judge, it's gonna be Chris and Pat again. So we're gonna have Gabriel ready to the screen and also both judges to ask him questions. So far, so good. I see a lot of like high level startups. So I would like, first of all, to congratulate all the startups that have done the pitch until now. And we're gonna have right now Gabriel from Prosumir, and then asking questions, Chris, and as well Pat. Okay. So Gabriel, I'm gonna be back with your screen and your presentation. Just
Hello, Nelson. Hello, everyone.
Okay. Welcome, my friend. It's good to hear that you have a microphone on and is working pretty well. We're gonna be back right now to put just you on the screen and your pitch deck. Keep in mind again, just if your slides is going a little bit slower than expect because like internet or anything, just keep with your pitch. And then in the end, I'm gonna be back in the last 10 seconds. Okay. Once you're ready, start to talk, and then we're gonna run the 3 minutes clock. Good luck.
Okay, thank you. So, hello everyone, my name is Gabriel. I'm going to introduce Prosumir Energy Recovery. We are a startup from South Brazil focused on developing innovative solutions to turn heat waste into opportunities. Worldwide, we reject more energy than we really use efficiently. And most of this energy is thermal instead of electrical. In this scenario, Prosumir developed our first product to solve energy waste on pressure-reducing valves. These equipment are very usual in factory steam systems. The steam is provided on high pressure by a boiler to heat and actuate the industrial processes. But the machinery in these processes need low pressure steam. So the pressure-reducing valve is used to reduce and control steam pressure, but it also waste energy as heat. To solve this situation, Prosumir developed the pressure-reducing turbine, so we can replace those valves with the same pressure controlling and reducing function and the benefit of generating energy. In the picture, you can see the turbine installed. This one generates the average of 400 kilowatts of electrical energy to the factory. And a great advantage is that it doesn't cause impact on the industrial process and it doesn't need more steam consumption. It's just pure energy waste recovery that you can save around $200,000 per year. Our competitors are mostly out of Brazil, but none of them focus on pressure-reducing valves replacement. We work with two business models to sell the turbine, the direct sale and the performance model that we offer a project finance solution so the client only pays for the energy generated after the installation. On 2020, we increased our portfolio with new service of consulting and maintenance. And on 2021, we are aiming to develop a smaller and serial producer turbine and a software for thermal optimization. Our team members are mostly engineers with solid proficiency. Julio, our CEO, worked for the past 20 years in energy generation markets. We also have a divisory board that supports us with strategical decisions with 3 experienced members. Here you can see some prizes we won along our trajectory since 2014. And thank you. My name is Gabriel, and this is Prosumir.
Thank you, Gabriel. Good job, right on time. So great presentation. We're gonna be back right now with the judges, so then they can ask you some questions in the next 3 minutes as well. So you did a great job, running smooth. So congratulations for your presentation. Right now, back with Chris and Pat. Guys, the floor is yours.
Pat, do you want to start?
Oh, sure. So I started my career in clean tech, so I looked at a lot of these heavy industrial things for a while. Who's the customer here, and who do you have to convince to get this thing deployed on the factory floor? And what is the typical payback time for something like this?
Okay, nice question, Pat. Our client, we aims at soy industry and chemical industry as well, food and beverage industry, and we work with project managers in those industries to try to sell the projects. Those are our clients.
But I mean, specifically within a factory, you've got to presumably convince the operations guy, a CFO, a plant manager. Yeah. It's going to be a multi-stakeholder decision, right?
Yes, normally the project manager of the factory and the factory manager to bring this project to the board of directors of the factories.
What's the sales cycle typically?
Our sales cycle it's a complex sale, so it takes some time to convince our clients. So we are talking about 4 or 5 or 6 months.
Okay. What's the payback? Sorry, Chris, I want to leave you some time.
Yeah, the payback, I forgot, sorry. Our payback, we work with 1 to 3 years of payback.
Thanks.
Okay, Gabriel, nice presentation. Your pressure reducing turbine technology is very innovative, and I think it goes a long way in converting energy waste back to usable energy. So where do you see your next impetus for revenue growth, coming up? Do you see it more as a next generation turbine of what you already have addressing the same market? Or do you actually see it as a new technology, completely different technology addressing a new energy market?
Yes, we are always developing improvements to the turbine and the new products as well. R&D projects are one of the core competencies of Prossumir. So we are working on development of another turbines as well with some strategic partners, and the pressure reducing turbine is a very valuable product. So we see a future of great revenue comes with this.
And if you also comment for your innovation, where is the source of inspiration that you're coming up with these great ideas? Where's it coming from?
Yes, we saw on the market a lot of energy waste, especially in thermal systems, but a lack of solutions to transform this waste into opportunities. And this is why Prossumir was created, to bring to the market these solutions of energy recovery.
Okay, great job, Gabriel. Thanks for the questions, Pat and Chris. We're gonna move to the next startup. So we're gonna be back with the next one. The next one is Simon from Station Accessibility. While Simon is getting ready, just would like to say thanks for all the participants. We just saw a great presentation by Gabriel on clean energy. So very innovative as well. We're happy to see and to hear the why behind the companies. And right now we are ready to the next one with Station Accessibility. Simon, can you hear me? Say hi, please.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Awesome.
I'm not seeing the arrows though for the slide changing.
You're gonna see pretty soon when you're getting back to the screen, and then it's gonna be me and you. Okay. We're gonna be back with Simon, his deck presentation, and him. Once you see myself, you, Simon, and the deck, I'm gonna give you again 3 minutes and gonna be back with the 10 last seconds, okay? Just confirm that you can see that right now, please.
I can now. Thank you. I can see it now.
No problem, my friend. Well, good luck. As soon as you started, we're going to run the 3 minutes clock, okay? You can go ahead.
Thank you. All right, the word accessibility. When we hear that word, what comes to mind? Wheelchairs, motor scooters, ramps, braille, white canes, all the things we associate with barriers in the brick and mortar world. Those barriers that need to be eliminated. But what about the digital world? What if you're blind? What if you're hearing impaired? You're paralyzed, physically disabled, you can't operate a device with your hands? What do you do now? Well, essential accessibility is all about addressing that problem and helping organizations make their digital assets accessible so that the world can be fully inclusive and opportunity is available to all. Whether it's regulatory, social mandates, or pure business imperatives, organizations have an obligation to meet these requirements and struggle in their attempts to do so. What is unique about our value proposition is that first, we've brought all the various pillars together of an accessibility program all under one roof. And it's, for the most part, all integrated in a SaaS-based format. So whether it's assistive technology for people like Stephen Hawking, the late Stephen Hawking, who's a quadriplegic, to get onto websites, or it's the tools that are required by web developers to ensure that the content they create is accessible, we bring it all under one roof. But we don't just do that. We also include a people component, because there's much that cannot be done with technology that can only be done with people. So to have a true comprehensive program within any organization, you need a combination of SaaS plus people, which we pioneered as accessibility as a service. Why? Because close to 1 in 5 individuals around the world self-identify as having a disability. That's almost 20% of the world's population. And there are regulations in all jurisdictions, just about the US, Brazil, Canada, Europe, you name it. And in the US in particular, the legal landscape has seen 11,000 lawsuits and counting in the last year alone. We started with an assistive technology that was helping, as I've mentioned, the likes of a Stephen Hawking type limitation. You've seen him with his solution. Most people can't afford it. We adapted it in a way that organizations could put it right on their websites and make it available to all. We partnered with Samsung, brought it to the mobile realm, and now we've expanded the platform so that web teams can leverage it to make all their assets fully accessible. Our competitive landscape, basically we differentiate ourselves in that we are cost effectiveness and the comprehensiveness of the solution puts the realm of affordability for organizations and makes it by far the most competitive offering on the market. We target heads of legal, heads of digital, heads of product. We extensive team of 75 people coming from Oracle, Microsoft, etc. Our revenue has been doubling every year for the past 3 years. We're at 10 million now. And here are some of the snapshot of the hundreds of brands we work with, including a number in Brazil. Thank you.
Great job, Simon. Really good presentation. Great pitch deck as well. So welcome. I'm gonna bring the judge to ask you questions. So be ready for that. As soon as the judge with me and you in the screen, we are ready to go. Who would like to start right now asking questions? I think the back. Yes.
Go ahead, Antoine.
I was just going to ask, can you give us a specific example of something you do on a site, for example, for people who are hearing impaired or blind? What can you do on a specific site that makes it more accessible? Can you just give us some concrete examples that you've done?
I think you mute yourself, Simon, by accident.
If you're a chief digital officer on a site, you need to look at a number of variables. Number one, think of captioning for any video. So that's an easy one that's readily familiar to all of us. Number two, you got to make sure that the website is coded behind the scenes at the code level in a manner that blind people who use screen readers, that the technology can read in a very linear fashion the code, and so it can translate into speech what the visual user can see otherwise. For a quadriplegic who's paralyzed, you want to make assistive technology available so they can hands-free navigate the site. So if you put all these things together, some things are very easy, can be done with turnkey technology. Others, though, need to be built into the development life cycle for digital teams to continually incorporate into their practices. Think of it as an extension of user experience. You continually test for user experience. Accessibility needs to be continually be factored in and monitored, even when you do achieve it.
That kind of relates to the question I was going to ask, which is, can you describe a bit more about the type of engagement you're having with these clients and the product itself? Is this a testing product? Is it a skin that sits on top of their existing website to make it more accessible, or is this a consulting project?
The legacy approach was ad hoc consulting, and it failed. The resource-based approach, the largest organizations try in some cases to build out their own teams in-house and can, in theory, achieve it. But that's only at most a slight under 1% of organizations, very, very cost-intensive, not feasible, not very feasible. Our approach is to bundle all of the capabilities and offerings that an organization requires. For the most part, it's technology, but there's a human component that you absolutely require because AI, all the latest technologies just can't do certain things. And if you think of imaging, labeling an image, for example, to provide that deep level of context for a descriptor, for a blind user, AI can't recognize. It can recognize like a boy in a picture throwing a ball, but if there's more context to the picture, which there most often is in advertising and in entertainment, the AI alone can't do it. So you need to have humans do it. But the good thing is, by providing supportive training and libraries to organizations, we're accelerating the digital teams along their learning curves. So increasingly, they're able to do more and more of this themselves with the support of the platform.
So what's the typical length of engagement with a client, and what's your gross margin overall as a company?
The length of an engagement is actually for a website, it's ongoing because your content is continually being refreshed. So our objective as an organization is to provide that continual level of support on as low monthly cost fixed basis as possible. So with absolute cost certainty, think of it as a layer of quality assurance that is always there to oversee the digital assets and the management. And sorry, what your second question was margin. Our margins right now are just over 70%. So we're a SaaS plus, so we're not as high margin as a pure SaaS play because there's a people component, but we're still under that. Sorry, the margins are over 70%.
Right, thank you.
Great job, Sam. A good presentation. We're gonna move to the next startups. Thank you for the questions for the judges. Appreciate it. Next one, it's Alberto with B Tools. So we're gonna get Alberto ready as well, and then we're gonna have as a judge Chris and Pat. So as soon as we have Alberto ready,
I'm here.
Well, Alberto in the screen and ready with his speech. We're gonna start the conversation, the pitch. Okay, Alberto, now I can see and hear you. Say hi, please. Welcome.
Hello, I'm here. I can hear you well.
Awesome. Good to hear that. Okay, we're gonna be back with you and your screen. Okay. Keep in mind again that as soon as you see your presentation and you see me and you on the screen, I'm gonna give you the word, and as soon as you start, we're gonna run the clock. And in the last 10 seconds, I'm gonna be back on the screen, and then that means you have the 10 seconds to finish your presentation. To be fair with you, because I did give a little bit of seconds of all the pitch, I'm gonna do the same with you. I'm gonna let you go if you need it. Okay, right now I can see that both of us on the screen and also your pitch deck. So
okay.
You ready?
Ready to go.
Okay, the floor is yours. You're gonna leave, and then as soon as you start it, the clock starts to run.
All right, start. So B-Tools is a smart school that uses technologies to help facilitate the learning process of the English language. So the problem is that the traditional learning methods are outdated and are not appealing to today's youth. Today's generations consume data and information at a much more rapid rate than previously. And only that, and on top of that, they also absorb information along a large variety of contents and different formats. So with these ever-changing habits and the fact that the world is gone completely crazy thanks to COVID and the economic down cycles that are happening, if the educational model and the academic model are not overhauled, they will be left behind. So the solution is, of course, B-Tools. I'm going to wait for this slide to load. So the solution is B-Tools, a multifaceted education platform that can be used anytime, anywhere. Look at what I brought you today in a beautiful place. I'm next to the beach. I'm using B-Tools. I'm learning English and I'm having a great time. And learning should be exactly that. It should be about having a great time. So our entire platform is gamified, which allows the users to learn, play, and be challenged. As kids, most of us grew up playing, and if learning was that fun, we probably know a whole lot more. On top of that, we've developed over 300 plus courses of our own proprietary virtual reality content, which allows your users to have immersive experiences. I'm going to give you an example. Let's say you're practicing how to order a coffee. Instead, what we do is we take you to New York, we take you to a cafe, and you can practice ordering that coffee yourself in virtual reality. That's pretty cool, right? We can do that across hundreds of different scenarios. Not only that, our AI engine kicks in and listens to your pronunciation and does pronunciation correction real time. That's super cool. But what makes it even better, AI engine is about learning. So what the AI engine does is it learns your strengths and your weaknesses as you progress. And what it does is it reshuffles the entire contents of your roadmap to learning according to your natural pace and easeability. What that means, and I'll repeat it, that every single user that uses our platform will have a different roadmap to learning the English language based on their inherent ability of learning a language and being able to speak, which is great because one model does not fit all. We all grew up with a one-way model and the world is now changing. More than that, we've created one-on-one sessions with real professors, which means we bring the human touch together with technology because it gives a great success. So basically, every student will have probably a weekly or bi-weekly session with a real professor just to get questions out of the way, humanize the process, and just help things getting along. On the next slide, the market size in Brazil, it's 210 million people in Brazil, 5% speak so-so English and 1% speaks fluent. That means that there's a large space for growth inside Brazil. But if you want to see a really good scalability, think about world. English is the second level. Our platform is ours. We can take this outside and go after English speakers for a second language worldwide. That's scalability, and I think we all want to see what scalability really looks like. We've been 2 years in revenues. We made $500,000 in the last 2 years. We've completely pivoted our model during this COVID to be more efficient. We were a hybrid of offline, online schools. Now we've become fully online schools. And last but not least, our co-founders who started the company are a bunch of tech head junkies who love technologies. They love education. They've created some great ideas. We're here to make a big change. Thank you very much.
Great pitch, Alberto. Congratulations. Great solutions as well with B2s. We're gonna bring the judge back to the screen, and as soon as we all in the screen, we're gonna be able to ask questions in those 3 minutes. For the last 3 rounds, including B2s, the judge that's gonna asking questions is gonna be Pat and Chris. Pat and Chris, right. The floor is yours again. Who is gonna start?
Go ahead, Chris.
Okay. Hey, Alberto, great presentation, and thank you. I was wondering if you could maybe chat a little bit more about your business models and what does the student actually receive? Do they actually have to buy the VR headset itself? It's an expensive item.
That's a good question. The original, we're owned by a larger hardware company who actually creates this. The original model was a franchise model. So we create this technology and then we sell this platform to real franchisees who build schools. So we have 24 schools within Brazil through the franchising model where people learn online. So to reply both questions, the user downloads the platform, starts learning, then goes to one of these physical schools to do the one-on-one and also the VR sessions. Since the pandemic happened, we quickly created our own plastic casing for cell phones. So anyone who signs up, we send this home. They can slide in the cell phone and use the VR content at their home, at their homes.
Okay, so the actual headset itself, they don't have to purchase.
They don't have to purchase at all. Like I said, the original model is you'd actually go to one of the physical schools and use a headset. But right now we send it home. You can do VR, obviously, even like you see on YouTube. You can do it on a web-based VR. But I mean, of course, if you've got the headset, which we send you home as part of your sign-up package, it's more fun. It's more immersive.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
You touched on a couple of the things I was interested in. So, you know, English as a second language in Brazil is quite a competitive market. Actually, there's a lot of people providing these services. How do you kind of fit into that landscape? I mean, particularly related to Brazil, where bandwidth is often a problem. So now you're talking about a very bandwidth heavy, you know, experience here with VR, and also how does the cost compare to other alternatives, and therefore, kind of what customer segments are you trying to win over here?
That's a good question. Ultimately, there's a lot of competitors that have been here a long time, for many, many years. These are large schools or large overweighted corporations who teach English, but they use the old system. So we're really betting on the new generation who wants to adopt and consume information according to just new ways. And our method is not really competed. Let's say that a lot of other people may use a little bit of VR. They may not own the content. They don't have a lot of the integration in the AI engines we are. So we're betting a lot on the fact that learning has to be more fun. English as a second language is growing. Brazil's consumption of Western lifestyles is always going through time as the world becomes more connected. So the desire to want to be able to learn English will grow over time simply because the market has not been captured that much. Now, whether you want to conform to an old model or switch to a new generation learning model is exactly what we're betting on, because we think that the world, and we see the world is changing in that direction. At least my kids are. I don't know about yours.
Thank you.
Okay, well, one last question, Alberto. So how easy is it for your technology to scale? For example, if someone wants to learn French and there's actually Spanish speaking, how will this change your technology?
So that's a super good
time?
question. That's a super good question. Time frame could take from 6 months to 12 months, depending on the complexity. What takes a lot more time to record, for example, is the VR content. So right now, our native language is Portuguese and the target language is English. The first step that we're looking at is going after the Spanish market. So if we change the native language from Spanish, but keep English, we could take all of South America through Spain and other Spanish-speaking territories, which is already a humongous market if you go after that. And then you can go full forth. If you want to change both language from, let's say, the native language to target language, that can happen, of course, because we've created the platform, so it's there, but it could take more time. We also see the space moving easily into more professional corporate trainings and also in more of a technical learning trainings also. We believe that there's space because the technology is good and the platform is there.
Thank you.
I hope I answered your question.
Okay, Alberto, great job. Thanks for all the pitch and answer the questions.
Thank you.
We're going to have a next pitch. The next pitch is Roberto representing the startup Expediente Azul. We're going to keep with the same judges until the end. So the next two startups, we're going to still interacting with Pat and Chris. So we are here with Roberto. Roberto, just make sure I can hear you.
Hello.
Say hi, please, and you're welcome.
Just waiting for the controls to appear for the slides.
I'm gonna be back with myself on the screen, and then next to that, I'm gonna be back with Roberto, his pitch deck. Again, for the information that you on the audience that just jumping over here with us, this is pitch day and day startup number 8 with Roberto Expediente Azul. He's ready pretty much to present. Roberto, can you see your presentation right now?
Yes, everything is correct.
Okay, awesome. I'm gonna leave the room as soon as you start. The clock is gonna start as well. Okay, you have 3 minutes. Good luck.
Hey everybody. So the first thing a person sees when he wants to get a very large loan or a very large loan is a list of all the documents that they have to send to the financial institution, and this is the face the customer makes. And as this customer has to send documents to the financial institution, always the same thing happens. So documents are wrong, missing, outdated, missing stamps, signatures, so on and so forth. And this creates a back and forth of emails, phone calls, and even visits until everything is done correctly. And what's very important to understand is that no documents means no business. You cannot place a large loan without all the proper documentation. And the technology used today is posted. I took this in a large international bank in Mexico, or email. And you can see some subject lines in this real email that says 3rd times the charm, that, well, at least the document was sent incorrectly 3 times. So that's the technology used today in this industry. And this is where Expediente Azul comes in as a white labeled solution. And that basically is an online checklist platform that shows the customer all the documents he has to send and the status of each and every one of these documents. In green if it's correct, in red if it's incorrect, in black if it's still waiting for upload, and in blue if it's pending review. And once you click on each square, you see the customer sees a detailed description of what the document has to have in order for it to be correct. And he can see right here if the document is incorrect, why it is incorrect. So we clear up the expectation. And for the first time, we give visibility to everybody. We send daily email reminders to everybody involved in this document gathering process, because in large loans, mainly company loans, there will be a lot of people putting all the documentation together. So we keep everybody in the same page. And for the first time as well, we show financial institutions the status of each and every one of these processes and what loan officer is taking care of it and where the documents are as well in each of these processes. The results we have is we reduce the time that it takes to put these documents together for financial institutions around 3 times. But more importantly, we reduce customer abandonment by 2.5 times. We are already operating in all of these countries in mostly alternate lenders. Our business model adapts perfectly to any size of financial institution as we charge by usage. And we have been growing around 15% month over month ever since we started 3 years ago. This is me, Roberto Ibarra. I'm the CTO. My partner is actually a loan broker. He brokered hundreds of these loans. And our vice president of engineering is a technology expert. So we have a very good balance of technology and domain expertise. We are now raising around $500,000 to explore many of these industries. The new industry that we are working on right now is hospitals, as they put a lot of documentation together to collect money from insurance companies. So I don't know if you remember this character here. This is the monster that asks for other characters in the movie for their documentation. And this is the image customers have of financial institutions. So if you know this person, please introduce me to that person. Thank you very much. This is my contact information.
Great job, Roberto. Right on time. Great pitch presentation. Gonna be back with the judges on the screen. So then they're gonna be able to, again, asking questions for 3 minutes. As soon as we have all of us in the screen, we're gonna start our questions. So I don't know, I think the last one to make question was Chris. So Pat, if you want to start it, or if you, Chris, if you want to take over again, it's up to you guys.
I'll go ahead. So you started talking about financial services, and a lot of fintechs are building these sort of internal workflow tools themselves today. And at the same time, you have banks who are trying to digitize their operations, but have very heavy regulatory and compliance burdens, which they need to maintain. So who's the customer here, and how do you get over the objections around regulatory and compliance at the banks, and I suppose the not invented here piece at fintechs?
Most of our customers are these alternate lenders. So in Brazil, they're called, for example, FIDICs. These are not banks. So they don't have the 1,000 developer team. They just have a group of 10, 20 people lending out money from a fund they raised. In Mexico, we have over 2,000 of them. In Brazil, there's like 1,000 of them. So the alternate lender market is very large. And you have to understand that most of the fintechs out there focus on small loans, right? So they only require 3 or 4 documents. Many of them can be automated or gathered from alternate sources. But when you want to build a shopping mall, there is no alternate source. You have to put all this documentation together. And this is the problem we are solving for these institutions. This large loan market that is around 50% of the loan market worldwide, that they don't really have fintech technology working in these institutions.
Thank you.
A nice presentation, Roberto. I was wondering if you could perhaps comment on the level of customization for your solution. When you go talk to different enterprises, they have different workflows and different requirements. What percentage of your customers or your products is standardized, and which require large customization efforts on your part?
The flow is very standardized because the thing that is standard across all of these large loan sector and other sectors now that we are moving also in insurtech sectors is that somebody has to send documentation to somebody and it has to be done. So this is the problem we are solving. And when you multiply these times the whole lot of documents that have to be sent out by a lot of different people to the same individuals that have to review them, this is the flow. It's very, very standard. Each of our customers customizes their own document checklists. So they do customize their own document, and that they can do it themselves. It's very, very easy. And the flow is super simple. You ask somebody to send you documents or a group of individuals to send you documents, and you review them, or you select who's going to review them on your end, and that's it. Once the documentation is put together, the loan can be processed. I'll just give you an example of why this is so important. If you see ads on TV about banks and things like that, they always tell you like, oh, we approve your loan in 24 hours. And that's true, but that's 24 hours after you send all the 40 documents they ask you. And after all these documents are correct, and that's what usually takes 1 or 2 months in large loans. So that's the problem we are addressing. And at the end, we speed up the time to money, not just for the companies that want these loans, but also for the fintechs that want to play. The financial institutions that want to place them.
Okay, thank you.
Also, Roberto, thank you so much for your presentations and for asking the questions. Congratulations. We're gonna have the last one, but not least, actually, Mauricio with Solubio is gonna be here with us. We actually already on the number 10. Very excited for the last page. So I would like to welcome Mauricio, and we're gonna have the same judges like Pat and Chris. So Mauricio, just double checking that you can hear me, and then I also hear you.
Yes, I can hear you. I'm ready.
Awesome, awesome. I'm gonna put you with me in the pitch deck presentation, the screen. As soon as we have all of us, I mean you and you, me and you, and the screen, your pitch deck, you're gonna have again 3 minutes to present, and then in the last 10 seconds, I'm gonna be back. Okay. So yeah, the floor is yours. As soon as you're ready, the clock is gonna run.
Cool. Glad to be here. My name is Mauricio from Solubio, and we enable farmers to produce their own biopesticide on farm. And our mission is to eliminate the usage of chemical pesticide in agriculture across the world. It's basically a piece of cake. When we think about producing food in the world, we have one of the biggest challenges is actually how to make agriculture affordable and sustainable. So pests are resistant to chemicals, logistics are expensive, distribution channel is a nightmare, chemicals, they pollute the environment, and so on and so forth. And that's why we created Solubio and the Solubio experience, which is basically a full framework to produce biopesticide on farm. It's like an espresso of agribusiness. We sell to farmers the machine, the capsules, and technical assistance, but with much more technology embarked. On farm, we have laboratories, biofactories, a bunch of proprietary softwares and hardwares, kits of microorganisms, and a whole customer support. And the way we monetize our business is basically selling the capsules, and that's recurrent as they need it for each harvest. And in 2007, we basically, our revenue was $1 million. This year is going to be $14 million. We're going to double this next year. There is a backlog already there. In 3 years, we're going to reach $100 million. We keep an EBITDA margin higher than 60%. We are totally bootstrapped. Cap table is clean like crystal. Most important, our churn is 0 in the past 2 years. We are present in many agricultural groups in Brazil, covering today an area of almost 2 million hectares. And most important, we are taking from the environment of chemical pesticides, only in 2020. This year we are expanding to Paraguay, Italy. We are setting up Cayman, Delaware, running external audit with a big 6, getting ready for a funding round. And as you see, we're still tiny in a total addressable market of almost $100 billion. At the moment, our focus is to scale the experience, and for that, we're investing a lot in processes, platforms, and systems. We are digitalizing our CS flow, creating agile protocols, investing in IoT to connect our biofactories and laboratories with our data center. We are creating a software to prescribe the best dosages using metagenomics and AI. And of course, we are investing in capacity. We are building new production plants 8 times bigger than the actual ones. This is Mauricio, our client. He's saving, just for example, he's saving $200,000 per year using biopesticides. And also, he's producing healthy food, reducing a lot of the CO2 emission, as using biopesticides not only reduce emission, but also capture CO2. And our biggest asset actually is our team. We have around 100 people today. Next year, we're going to be 250 solo buyers with a diverse background, from engineers to biologists, from economists to lawyers, from PhDs to technicians, together with our 6 co-founders who have a strong background in agribusiness. So we are the Nespresso of agribusiness.
Congratulations, Mauricio. Thank you for your presentation. Great presentation. I'm gonna right now bring the judges back, so then we can be able to do the last round of questions for Mauricio about his presentation. Again, the chat's gonna have 3 minutes to ask questions. I think the last round was Pat, you started. Chris, you wanna start right now, or
sure.
you wanna go?
Yeah, congratulations, Mauricio. You guys have a remarkable growth story, and as you mentioned, you've done this pretty much on your own. So when you look at your competition now that you're going to start competing with the larger players, what would you say are the 1 or 2 advantages that Solubio offers that's really gotten you this far?
I think so far it's the Solubio experience. So we deliver the whole experience. No one in the market, no one in the world provides farmers with a full experience or full solution from training people to deciding or designing the right laboratory, from the right, let's say, management crop portfolio. So we are the only one. That's today. So what we're building now, it's the technology barrier. So for example, we are creating this software with metagenomics and AI to prescribe the best dosages. So that's one thing. Another thing, we're investing a lot in understanding what's happening on time on farm. So the whole IoT and the whole connection with the biofactors and laboratories, making sure we are tracking the whole experience, even the customer success journey. So we know if they are using, if they are not using, if the dosages are right, if the temperature in the laboratory is the right one. So everything is being tracked. But we have a lot to do to creating more barriers. But the competitors, they are lazy. That's the problem. So they like the traditional, as there are so it's 4 or 5 players in the world. They take 80% of the market, and it's good to them. I mean, they don't want to do an extra job. They just produce and they throw their goods to the distribution channel, and that's fine. And that's why agriculture is not affordable today. If government don't put money, we can produce food.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's very, very nice model, Mauricio. Really interesting. I guess questions around the product, and you touched on this a little bit. Do you have any patents on the actual solutions, biological products that you're distributing? And secondly, do you have any data about the persistence of the effect? Is there a resistance that's building up here?
Okay. Yeah, we our biofactory actually we have a register. We asked the registration. It's ongoing. We are not allowed to register microorganisms in Brazil, but you can register products. So we are registering 5 products today. We are also registering the Solubio experience. So on farm, in the way we do, we are the only ones. Actually, we just asked for the deposit, so it takes 2-3 years to get. In terms of the resistance, that's the trick and the cool thing. So when you use chemicals, the more you use, the less it works, and then you need to increase dosages. And with biological solutions based on bacteria and fungus, it's the opposite. Actually, you don't have any type of resistance. You can use whatever you need, and the more you use, actually, in the near future, you have less problems. So there is a time where you get your soil, your environment balanced. So there is a peak, and then we're gonna have a flat usage of biological pesticides.
Very nice. Thank you.
Great job, Mauricio. Great job. You definitely did the last speech, but it was a great presentation as well. Okay, right now we're gonna have the judges getting together, share their score, talk a little bit, discuss a little bit about every single startup and every single pitch, and after that, myself and Barrett, we're gonna be back to announce the 3 winners. We are very excited to see who is gonna win those 3 startups. But first of all, I would like to thank all the startups that are here present and all the talents behind the startups that are presenting and did the pitch today in XTC Brazil. You guys did a great job. You already are winners because you're here in the top 10 startups and part of the global community that XT is building around the world. So without further ado, we're gonna leave you with a little bit more information in videos while you're waiting to announcement of the 3 winners. Gonna learn a little bit more about Startse and XTC, and me and Barrett, we're gonna be back and very excited to announce the 3 winners, okay? So I'm gonna see you again with Barrett in a couple minutes.
Agora, lá fora, enquanto você escuta isso, o mundo já mudou mais um pouco. Novas tecnologias, novos modelos de negócio, novos hábitos de consumo. Tudo ao mesmo tempo, agora. Agora, lá fora, o mundo nunca mudou tanto. Empresas nascem e morrem todos os dias. As ordens se invertem. O grande vira pequeno, o pequeno vira grande. Agora, lá fora, velocidade. O futuro chega num mês, numa semana, num dia. O que era, já não é mais. E daqui a pouco já vai deixar de ser de novo. Agora, lá fora, tudo está confuso mesmo. E vai continuar assim. Tanta informação, tantas possibilidades, tanta incerteza, tanta complexidade. Agora, aí dentro de você, algo também já mudou. Você já percebeu que não dá mais para ficar parado. Você já percebeu que precisa se adaptar constantemente. Você já percebeu que esse novo mundo está pedindo para que você starte-se. Nós somos a Startse. Somos mais do que uma empresa de educação tradicional. Somos uma knowledge company, uma empresa de conhecimento transformador na velocidade do agora. Nós não enxergamos a educação com os olhos do passado. Acreditamos que o lifelong learning de verdade só acontece com um aprendizado dinâmico e inspirador, em diferentes formatos e intensidades ao longo do tempo. Trazemos um conhecimento que se multiplica e se renova na mesma velocidade que o mundo muda, na velocidade do agora. E é por esse agora que somos apaixonados. Nós não ensinamos sobre o que ouvimos falar, ensinamos sobre o que vemos de perto. Estamos nos principais polos internacionais de inovação, tecnologia e empreendedorismo, interagindo e aprendendo diretamente com os líderes e empresas que estão mudando o mundo. Por isso, nós não preparamos ninguém para um novo normal. Para nós, isso nem mesmo existe. Acreditamos sim numa sequência de novos agoras, uma realidade imprevisível que se transforma a cada dia. Inspiramos e guiamos pessoas por essa complexidade para que possam provocar novos starts em suas carreiras ou negócios, quantos forem necessários ao longo da vida. Start-se. Educação do agora.
You know, XTC is found to really encourage the energy of entrepreneurs work on these extreme difficult challenges.
Here's a breakdown of XTC 2020. We had more than 2,400 startups apply from 6 continents, more than 80 countries. They've been down selected to 7 winners across 7 categories, plus a COVID award and a female founder award. It's really a community. It incorporates big companies, universities, venture capitalists. We want to give you as a startup the ability to be seen, be heard, and to build relationships that could carry you far into the future.
Startups are everywhere, across national boundary, across racial boundary. It's everywhere that we can encourage, and we want them to all join us.
If you're a founder of a startup that wants to do good for the world, you don't need to wait. You can apply now at extremetechchallenge.org. I hope to see you here next year, pitching in the global finals.
How can I improve the world?
It will take innovation, hard work,
Entrepreneurship,
diversity,
empathy,
collaboration,
persistence,
focus,
passion,
action.
Let's hope for a greater world by working together as one.
velocidade das mudanças no mundo provocou o surgimento de uma nova palavra em nosso vocabulário: disrupção. E agora sabemos que as ferramentas estratégicas existentes já não bastam mais. Afinal, de que adianta um conhecimento teórico de 2 anos atrás no mercado que muda todo dia? Somos uma escola internacional de negócios criada para preparar líderes para esse mundo em constante transformação. Entendemos a educação executiva de uma forma diferente porque nascemos na nova economia. Nós não ensinamos sobre um passado que ouvimos falar. Ensinamos sobre o agora, aquele que vivenciamos diariamente nos principais centros de inovação, tecnologia e empreendedorismo do mundo. Promovemos experiências imersivas com os principais experts direto dos nossos hubs internacionais, focando na intensidade e vivência do aprendizado. Mais do que teorias acadêmicas, você encontrará inspiração para a tomada de decisões. Mais do que cases do passado, você encontrará insights atuais e ferramentas tão importantes que podem valer o destino do seu negócio. Um destino novo, competitivo, relevante e exponencial. O mundo do agora exige líderes disruptores. Milhares de executivos já passaram por nossos programas e saíram de uma posição defensiva de observação para uma posição de decisão e transformação. Agora chega a sua vez de ditar as regras da disrupção na escola de negócios situada onde o mundo realmente acontece. Startse University, para líderes disruptores do agora.
XTC is found to really encourage the energy of entrepreneurs to work on these extreme difficult challenges.
Here's a breakdown of XTC 2020. We had more than 2,400 startups apply from 6 continents, more than 80 countries. They've been down selected to 7 winners across 7 categories, plus a COVID award and a female founder award. It's really a community. It incorporates big companies, universities, venture capitalists. We want to give you as a startup the ability to be seen, be heard, and to build relationships that could carry you far into the future.
Startups are everywhere, across national boundary, across racial boundary. It's everywhere that we can encourage, and we want them to all join us.
If you're a founder of a startup that wants to do good for the world, you don't need to wait. You can apply now at extremetechchallenge.org. I hope to see you here next year, pitching in the global finals.
How can I improve the world?
It will take innovation, hard work,
Entrepreneurship,
diversity,
Empathy,
collaboration,
persistence,
focus.
passion,
action.
Let's hope for a greater world by working together as one.
Agora, lá fora, enquanto você escuta isso, o mundo já mudou mais um pouco. Novas tecnologias, novos modelos de negócio, novos hábitos de consumo. Tudo ao mesmo tempo, agora. Agora, lá fora, o mundo nunca mudou tanto. Empresas nascem e morrem todos os dias. As ordens se invertem. O grande vira pequeno, o pequeno vira grande. Agora, lá fora, velocidade. O futuro chega num mês, numa semana, num dia. O que era, já não é mais. E daqui a pouco já vai deixar de ser de novo. Agora, lá fora, tudo está confuso mesmo. E vai continuar assim. Tanta informação, tantas possibilidades, tanta incerteza, tanta complexidade. Agora, aí dentro, dentro de você, algo também já mudou. Você já percebeu que não dá mais para ficar parado. Você já percebeu que precisa se adaptar constantemente. Você já percebeu que esse novo mundo está pedindo para que você starte-se. Nós somos a Startse. Somos mais do que uma empresa de educação tradicional. Somos uma knowledge company, uma empresa de conhecimento transformador na velocidade do agora. Nós não enxergamos a educação com os olhos do passado. Acreditamos que o lifelong learning de verdade só acontece com um aprendizado dinâmico e inspirador, em diferentes formatos e intensidades ao longo do tempo. Trazemos um conhecimento que se multiplica e se renova na mesma velocidade que o mundo muda, na velocidade do agora. E é por esse agora que somos apaixonados. Nós não ensinamos sobre o que ouvimos falar, ensinamos sobre o que vemos de perto. Estamos nos principais polos internacionais de inovação, tecnologia e empreendedorismo, interagindo e aprendendo diretamente com os líderes e empresas que estão mudando o mundo. Por isso, nós não preparamos ninguém para um novo normal. Para nós, isso nem mesmo existe. Acreditamos sim numa sequência de novos agoras, uma realidade imprevisível que se transforma a cada dia. Inspiramos e guiamos pessoas por essa complexidade para que possam provocar novos starts em suas carreiras ou negócios, quantos forem necessários ao longo da vida. Start-se. Educação do agora.
A velocidade das mudanças no mundo provocou o surgimento de uma nova palavra em nosso vocabulário: disrupção. E agora sabemos que as ferramentas estratégicas existentes já não bastam mais. Afinal, de que adianta um conhecimento teórico de 2 anos atrás no mercado que muda todo dia? Somos uma escola internacional de negócios criada para preparar líderes para esse mundo em constante transformação. Entendemos a educação executiva de uma forma diferente porque nascemos na nova economia. Nós não ensinamos sobre um passado que ouvimos falar. Ensinamos sobre o agora, aquele que vivenciamos diariamente nos principais centros de inovação, tecnologia e empreendedorismo do mundo. Promovemos experiências imersivas com os principais experts direto dos nossos hubs internacionais, focando na intensidade e vivência do aprendizado. Mais do que teorias acadêmicas, você encontrará inspiração para a tomada de decisões. Mais do que cases do passado, você encontrará insights atuais e ferramentas tão importantes que podem valer o destino do seu negócio. Um destino novo, competitivo, relevante e exponencial. O mundo do agora exige líderes disruptores. Milhares de executivos já passaram por nossos programas e saíram de uma posição defensiva de observação para uma posição de decisão e transformação. Agora chegou sua vez de ditar as regras da disrupção na escola de negócios situada onde o mundo realmente acontece. Start-se University, para líderes disruptores do agora.
Agora, lá fora, enquanto você escuta isso, o mundo já mudou mais um pouco. Novas tecnologias, novos modelos de negócio, novos hábitos de consumo. Tudo ao mesmo tempo, agora. Agora, lá fora, o mundo nunca mudou tanto. Empresas nascem e morrem todos os dias. As ordens se invertem. O grande vira pequeno, o pequeno vira grande. Agora, lá fora, velocidade. O futuro chega num mês, numa semana, num dia. O que era, já não é mais. E daqui a pouco já vai deixar de ser de novo. Agora, lá fora, tudo está confuso mesmo. E vai continuar assim. Tanta informação, tantas possibilidades, tanta incerteza, tanta complexidade. Agora, aí dentro, dentro de você, algo também já mudou. Você já percebeu que não dá mais para ficar parado. Você já percebeu que precisa se adaptar constantemente. Você já percebeu que esse novo mundo está pedindo para que você starte-se. Nós somos a Start-se. Somos mais do que uma empresa de educação tradicional. Somos uma knowledge company, uma empresa de conhecimento transformador na velocidade do agora. Nós não enxergamos a educação com os olhos do passado. Acreditamos que o lifelong learning de verdade só acontece com um aprendizado dinâmico e inspirador, em diferentes formatos e intensidades ao longo do tempo. Trazemos um conhecimento que se multiplica e se renova na mesma velocidade que o mundo muda, na velocidade do agora. E é por esse agora que somos apaixonados. Nós não ensinamos sobre o que ouvimos falar, ensinamos sobre o que vemos de perto. Estamos nos principais polos internacionais de inovação, tecnologia e empreendedorismo, interagindo e aprendendo diretamente com os líderes e empresas que estão mudando o mundo. Por isso, nós não preparamos ninguém para um novo normal. Para nós, isso nem mesmo existe. Acreditamos sim numa sequência de novos agoras, uma realidade imprevisível que se transforma a cada dia. Inspiramos e guiamos pessoas por essa complexidade para que possam provocar novos starts em suas carreiras ou negócios, quantos forem necessários ao longo da vida. Start-se. Educação do agora.
XTC is found to really encourage the energy of entrepreneurs work on these extreme difficult challenges.
Here's a breakdown of XTC 2020. We had more than 2,400 startups apply from 6 continents, more than 80 countries. They've been down selected to 7 winners across 7 categories, plus a COVID award and a female founder award. It's really a community. It incorporates big companies, universities, venture capitalists. We want to give you as a startup the ability to be seen, be heard, and to build relationships that could carry you far into the future.
Startups are everywhere, across national boundary, across racial boundary. It's everywhere that we can encourage, and we want them to all join us.
If you're a founder of a startup that wants to do good for the world, you don't need to wait. You can apply now at extremetechchallenge.org. I hope to see you here next year, pitching in the global finals.
How can I improve the world?
It will take innovation, hard work,
Entrepreneurship,
diversity,
Empathy,
collaboration,
persistence,
focus.
passion, action.
Let's hope for a greater world by working together as one.
Okay, we are back. Very happy, actually very excited. First of all, I would like again to thank all the startups involved in the XTC Brazil Tech Challenge. The first time in Brazil ever. Me and Barry, we are back here, very excited. We are a couple of minutes discussing and talk with the judges. They bring all the scores, analyze all the startups. First of all, again, all the startups, you guys did a great job. All the 10 startups, amazing job, great pitch. We right now have the challenge of not facing each other, right? We cannot like interact, talk, or be present in the same place. What makes a huge difference when we're talking about demo day, a pitch day, there is all the energy involved in a pitch day. But on the other hand, you guys did a great job, even if you have like small technical issues and all that kind of stuff. So first of all, very happy and very excited to hear and to give the word to Barrett, who's going to announce the 3 winners. Barrett, the floor is yours, my friend.
Hey, thanks, Nelson. Thanks to all the startups that pitched today. We are absolutely inspired by your drive to build technologies that address global challenges and make the world a better place. We sorely need your creativity and innovation, and we wish you the best in any case. The judges have completed their evaluations, and we are ready to announce the 3 winners. These 3 companies will become XTC finalists, will join other XTC finalists from around the world at the XTC Bootcamp and Finals in May and June of 2021. There they will connect with senior executives and investors, pitch in hopes to become the XTC Global winner of 2021. Without further ado, the winning companies are Solubio, BTalk, and Metron. Congratulations to all three of you.
Great job, guys. Congratulations for those 3 winners. Amazing, amazing. Great job. Again, all those other 7 startups, you guys did a great job as well. So I'd like to congratulations all the startups that participate. A special thanks to Barrett and all the XTC team that support the event, that believes in the Starts, that partner with Starts to make that happen first time in Brazil and in South America. Very excited. Barrett, your last final words for our audience, please.
Last words. If you are a founder of a startup that is improving lives in the environment, you can still join XTC and be a part of the XTC and even the global finals. Go to extreme-techchallenge.org to apply. We look forward to learning more about what you're building, supporting you as you innovate to address global challenges. Back to you, Nelson.
Thank you so much, guys. Okay, I see you guys in the next competition. Bye-bye. Thank you.